Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Meow Division UofT Intramural Finals between Team 1 and Team Alex Striker. We have an exciting match up today between really these two teams that have just battled their way through the bracket to the top of the Meow Division of the UofT tournament. I admit I was competing in the Dog Division, so I didn't have too much opportunity to follow this one, but I'm Chris, Computer Overwatch. Joining me today is Left Fish Taco James. What are you expecting to see out of tonight's match?
Honestly, not too sure. I have been really been following these matches, but hopefully some good Overwatch. Not sure why Alex Striker's not on Team Alex Striker, but hopefully we're gonna get some good games tonight.
Yeah. Uh, and speaking of, let's introduce the teams. We have first up in the match, we have Team Alex Striker, headed up by on the tank role Electroshock with Monkey G and your son James, not Urson James, on TPS, and the Jeff Kaplan, the real one, and Yua on the support role.
Yeah, and on the other team we have team number 1 with Stalken and Mook on DPS, Zalin on tank, Spin Jababu, and Nora on support.
Oh. It's yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect out of these teams. I hope for at least the homage of it. We'll see some Reinhardt play out of Team Alex Striker, probably some Bastion comps out of team number 1, but I believe the teams are ready. First map is going to be Oasis. As we get ready to go in, yeah, Oasis. It's an interesting map. A lot of verticality. Might see some Pharah play. Strong for dive, but I think I'm expecting to see something in the vein of like a maybe Ryan Bastion type of mirror comp coming out of Oasis University. That said, first point heading into Oasis is going to be Gardens, so very vertical. If either team wants to run the Pharah, it's quite a strong point for that sort of a composition.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some dive, probably maybe some Pharah dive, perhaps, Pharmacy. I expect both teams to try to take control of that high ground first, and then kind of just, look for some dives on the back line. But we'll see what these teams end up picking.
It does look like we're going to be seeing Electroshock coming out on the Doomfist. This is actually Doomfist Mei Soldier. That's a really interesting composition. I know that Mei... I know personally that your son James really favors the Mei character. So with this comp, I think it's sort of like a flanky sort of soft dive. Expect to see like the DPS taking lots and lots of angles, sort of peppering down with the Doomfist, looking to finish it off. Whereas it's a more traditional sort of Junker Queen, sort of spam heavy Junker Queen rush coming out of Team 1, as the teams both are starting to confront each other around this mega. Your son James already going off onto the flank, heading into the tank. Monkey G falls to Sponge. Oh, that's a fast pickoff.
Yeah.
Traded off though onto the Moira.
I think you take that if you're Alex Striker. The soldier's gonna come back a lot faster than the Moira. Just a little poking here.
And you have your son James. Yeah, the soldier's already back. You have your son James on the high ground. Solokin looking to contest, but there's 3 for Team Alex Striker on the high ground. Leveraging great effect to take on Solokin. Yua gets caught out, but Nora falling. Grumpy Mook falling very low on the Sojourn. And it does look like it's a scrappy fight. They stall it out. They don't let Team Alex Striker get the first cap quickly, but it is going to be the cleanup coming in for Team Alex Striker.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really see a lot of synergy coming out from both teams. See a lot of kind of mishmash, but I think Striker is probably gonna be a little better off. But as I say that, another pick comes out, very scrappy overall. Nothing, no clean fights here.
Doomfist looking to engage with the Meteor Strike, going in quite aggressively, not quite able to find an angle though. The Ana caught out again on the low ground. Moira pressured out though, and now you have the Junker Queen of Zalin alone on points. The supports come back in. Electroshock forced to back on the Doomfist, and it looks like Jeff Kaplan is in a spot of trouble. Electroshock tries to find the save. That said, though, Team 1, they're winning the fight, but, you know, your son James still stalling this out on May. Electroshock now coming back in, and it's 44 and counting. Team 1 have yet to find the flip. Electroshock still alive, still fighting, decides to commit the Meteor Strike even. It is finally going to fall 53% on the side of Team Alex Striker.
Yeah, they stalled it out for like an extra 20-30. They were losing that fight well earlier. Looks we got about a lot of ults on the board for both teams. Only thing missing is the Doom Pistol, the Meteor Strike, but it's not a particularly impactful ult. We're gonna see who's gonna ult first. Probably a Nano Doom engage, if I were to guess, or a very aggressive. Oh, there's the Nano Doom.
There's the Nano. Solokin falling under heavy pressure on the Ash. Kitsune Rush comes in to follow. Bob comes out, but Solokin is going to fall. Moira of SpongeBob taking a very, very heavy pressure with Jeff Kaplan coming in to support that push. We see both supports of Alex Striker fall to 1 health, but the kill's not quite coming in. Your son James is going to fall. But yeah, team, I don't know about this. Well, I say that, but Jeff Kaplan does fall. Kiriko's traded out.
Yeah.
The Ana also
like,
falls for Team Alex Striker.
What it looks like to me is that team number 1 very split, but with the Junker Queen is a little bit more help. Although, you know, this is yeah, they're just kind of trying to play a poke, but with a rush tank, and they're getting picked apart. They're also not running a Lucio, so the Junker Queen is still getting, you know, not getting a whole lot of help. As I say this, though, Urson James falls yet again. Doom's coming back. The Queen's on the high ground. Very aggressive overclock. Looks like they're finally picking up some kills.
Yeah, the ults are coming in. One thing we saw in that earlier fight was just Team Alex Striker being a bit quicker, a bit more decisive with using their ultimates. And, you know, we saw Zalin sort of committing, while Team Alex Striker had the point, you know, manages to trade out for both supports. And then, you know, I really would have liked to see Team number 1 just push that advantage, you know, faster with ults after they were able to, you know, trade tanks and get the supports off line for Alex Striker. But now they do have the ult advantage. Meteor Strike comes in. Going to be heavy pressure coming out of SpongeBob, who does manage to survive. Kitsune Rush comes out, as does the Blizzard. Blizzard going to be putting Zalin in a spot of trouble, but it's a team wipe coming out from Team Alex Striker, and I'm not too sure about that Rampage, but otherwise it looks like a very good use of the May ult. Your son James gonna do a fight win for Team 1.
Yeah, with no ultimates on the board, I'm gonna be Kitsune versus Bob soon, but neither particularly impactful. It's neither like immediate fight wins. It's gonna come down to, you know, just, you know, skill gapping the other team. As I say that with GPS well, but so does Jeff Kaplan.
Bob is online now for Solokin. Gonna need to look to use that fast as they're falling under heavy pressure by Electroshock. The Doomfist does fall down, as does Monkey G. Another elimination for the Moira of SpongeBob. And against all odds, it looks like Team 1 are gonna be able to turn this around and take first point of Oasis on Gardens.
Very back and forth map. Honestly, this doesn't seem like anyone's like poised to win this entire thing just yet. Looks like they're very even.
Yeah, very, very close. It looks like we're seeing a lot of just players sort of playing around their personal comforts. I think I know for a fact your son James really favors the May. It's interesting though. I would really like to see at some point, you know, Team 1 running some Lucio comps, because I've coached Nora before actually, and I know that you know, actually quite good on the Lucio. But it looks like both teams going to be sticking with more or less the same comps. Grumpy Mook toying with going over to the Reaper, which honestly, Reaper Lucio Queen, I would be, you know, Reaper Lucio Queen Moira, I'd be here for it. But looks like both teams going to be rolling out, heading straight for the high ground.
Yeah, I would like to see a Lucio too. Maybe, or Zalin going over to a dive tank like maybe Ball or Doom. And then to be a little more self-sufficient, Queen needs a lot more help than both those tanks.
Instead, the Zalin has been doing big things on the Junker Queen. Already very heavy pressure coming out onto Electroshock, but who does manage to survive thanks to a nice protection user from Jeff Kaplan. Now the elimination is going to come out onto Nora Avi. Monkey G putting down huge damage from the high ground. And just the Yeah, I mean, it looks like Team One just really going all in on trying to eliminate that Doomfist
Yeah,
of Team Alex, right?
there we go. Doom is
That's it.
eliminated.
It looks like it's going to be the bottomless pit that's going to find that elimination. Some nice
Monkey
shots
G
from Solo can take down Monkey G.
pushes out way too far. Very aggressive, but Urson James finds a pick, just random headshot. Love to see those on the Mei.
It's a very aggressive flank from the soldier, but you know, if the Doomfist was there, I would actually not be opposed to it. Of course, without a tank, it's a bit greedy. The punish does come in, but Team One, even though they find those eliminations, you know, the Doomfist and the soldier both come back fast. They're already here again. They're not quite able to find the fast punish, but that said, they're able to pick off Electroshock for, you know, a bit of an overcommitment. Blizzard coming out from your son James, but no follow-up, is able to secure the eliminations, and it looks like Team 1 are going to be able to find the flip. Not without some nice shots from Yua, though.
These two don't even get the Ana. They're gonna win this fight.
So
I think this is the... Oh, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, this is where I think you really want to have the Lucio, just like...
Yeah, I was about to say.
We do see Nora going over to Lucio. I really like this change. I think, like, Team 1, they're doing a good job of finding these early picks, right? Of finding, like, an early advantage. But they're just struggling to really press the advantage with how, like, immobile so much of their composition is.
Yeah, I think the Lucio's gonna help a lot with that, chasing down these, you know, far away targets like the Ana, maybe the Soldier. You know, if they just stay far away, they're just gonna get pressured out before they can do anything.
Megawall comes out to try and deny some of the value of the ball, but it's big space being given up. Ice Block forced already. Electroshock is heavily committed, and there's a big rampage from the side of Zalan. Gets cleansed, but they're already poised in the backline to do huge damage. Ults flying left and right, but it's the supports of Team Alex Striker that will fall. The DPS, though, that said, from Team 1 have already been taken off the board, and it looks like it's a good adaptation from Team 1, but just a little bit too late. That said, actually, Solokin coming back on the Soldier. These fights have been really scrappy. Okay, unpredictable from start to finish, but it looks like it's going to be Team 1 cleaning it up.
Yeah, I really like the Team 1's comp a lot better. Reaper, the Lucio, it lends a lot better to the Junker Queen playstyle. They're still sticking on the Mei on the side of Alex Striker. We'll see how, you know, maybe they'll try to look for some walls. I think the Lucio and the Moira can probably just work around the wall a little bit better.
Yeah, I think for Team Alex Striker, the really tough bit is just going to be playing the Doomfist into this composition, trying to find good value. As we see Electroshock just getting forced out, Solokin having so much space to just pump damage into Team Alex Striker. Your son James, though, is online with the Blizzard, looking to try and find an angle.
Oh,
and there's a big anti from Yua. Blizzard comes in to follow, and it looks like that is going to be the cleanup for Team Alex Striker. Really, their weak condition with the slower comp is just to really play slow, like disrupt the engages. Team 1, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I think if you allow Alex Striker's Ana and their Kiriko to just sit there, they're going to find some value. They're going to find the nade, they're going to find the headshots. If you let the Soldier just sit there, you know, just pumping out damage, you're not gonna be able to out heal that. I think with the Jungle Queen, you have to play a lot faster, actually push into them, find those kills, and they're just not doing that. They kind of just sat there. With the Lucio, it's a little bit better. Oh, and they swapped back to the Ana. Not sure if I'm a big fan of that.
This is quite interesting now, actually. So we have pretty similar compositions on both sides, but Oasis University, very close range favored map. So you think the Junker Queen and the Mei are the really big ones to look out for, but neither team really playing a standard composition. I think a lot of this is going to come down to just, you know, on both sides, a lot of individual pop-up potential. As we see already a duel between the Ashe and the Mei. Over on this right side, it looks like Solokin getting a little bit the better of your son James, but Electroshock finding so much space on the point. Big punch comes out, put Nora off the map. That said, Zalan does find the pick onto Monkey G.
But Team 9 takes control of this high ground. Doom's getting very zealous. He might pay for it, but he ends up getting out. But they have to invest the Suzu for it. Solokin dies though.
Yeah, Solokin gets caught out on the right side. And here's where I'm not sure how I feel about the Ashe on this point, especially with, you know, the Soldier and the Doomfist. on the side of Team Alex Striker, Grumpy Mook goes off the map, as does Zalin, let's call that a tactical reset on the side of Team 1, as Solican does get a nice exit pick on the May, and with a slow-moving character like that, who is like such a big engagement disruptor, for Team Alex Striker, that's actually a big deal, as they're looking to be ready to make a push now.
Yeah,
Electroshock,
still no
looking for the big
Lucio.
punch, not quite able to find it.
Still no Lucio. They're not going to be able to take advantage of that pick. They're just kind of slowly pushing up, but the Doomfist, the Soldier, they can all rotate much faster. As I say that, Monkey G falls, that gets headshot. Electroshock is really deep, but makes it out alive.
Now here comes the support ults, Coalescence for SpongeBob, looking to find some targets, but there's looking to really pressure the backline, does find Yua, and now you have everyone low for Team 1, but the eliminations are, falling on the side of Team Alex Striker. But again, we see Team Alex Striker just get first cap with, the Doomfist really taking a lot of initiative, the May, obviously very, very hard to dislodge. And then they get something like 70% off of first cap, that's been the case, I think, all 3 of these rounds, that Team 1 have really sort of struggled a bit for the retakes. But now they have ults online, they have point control. We're just gonna have to see how much they can get done with it. Solican looking to find some pressure from the off angle.
Gets anti, possibly maybe cut and kill. Everyone's falling low. They're just playing really passive, really slow. Team 1 isn't making any moves. They have ults. They should really make some kind of play here. Because again, if you let the Alex Strikers to just stay alive, they're gonna find value eventually.
There we see Zalin committing in, finds the axe onto Yua to bring them down. Your Son James commits the Blizzard, but really to no avail. It's a nice wall. It's going to punish Zalin. Monkey G falls as well done. Electroshock.
Just eats so much damage, can't stay alive. And this is actually looking very good for team number 1. They have 4 ultimates.
They only invest the bomb there.
Nano is a big ultimate. Rampage is a big ultimate. Overclock and Moira Coalescence can each find great value.
Yeah, I think you have to be looking at the nano combos with Overclock and the Tactical Visor to really come up big. Your Son James, though, does find the icicles into the head of Solican. Overclock comes out from Grumpy Mook in response. Nano onto the Doomfist, but it's Mook who finds the pick onto your Son James. Big Rampage comes out. Yua falls low. Gets picked up. Tactical Visor comes in, but it might be too little, too late. Grumpy Mook with a 3rd elimination onto Jeff Kaplan. And Monkey G, unable to find any value with that Tactical Visor, gets pushed out and eliminated by Zalin. The Meteor Strike comes out in a last-ditch effort by Electroshock, but it's not going to be enough. As overtime ticks down, and it is going to be Oasis in a close fought 2-1, going to team number 1.
Yeah, I think the Jungle Queen comp, once it's really hard to take control at that point, as Alex Stark were able to get 68% on the point. But once they have that point, the antis, Moira stays alive long. Jungle Queen can't really get killed easily. They're just gonna stay there, just gonna kind of hold that point extremely well. And the Alex Striker didn't have great playmaking potential with the no Lucio. There's no you only have Soldier. Soldier can only do so much. The May without the Lucio is really tough. So really, you're just relying on your Doomfist to make space. But if your Doomfist just gets melted, you can't really do much.
Yeah, both teams really relying a lot on the sort of little individual pop-offs, but I think just the natural sort of strength of the Junker Queen with double flex support, I think it just beats out the Doomfist when you don't have dive DPS to be able to really heavily capitalize. It's tricky. I think the Soldier Doomfist can work to an extent, but you might really like to see some sort of heavier commitment to something like a maybe flanking Kiriko Yari, play sort of like a very angle heavy poke style. But it looks like the match choice for Team Alex Striker is going to be King's Row.
I think this makes sense. Doomfist is a pretty strong. It's pretty strong on King's Row. Sales May, I think they're gonna try to, run around the same comp with a little bit of a pokey dive with the Doomfist, and I think Team One. I don't think they're gonna struggle that much either, though. You can play pretty much anything on King's Row, especially poke. They've been running a lot of Ash Sojourn, so they're just gonna sit back, take shots. And the Doomfist can only, pretty much only the Doomfist can dive on one person. So as long as they keep that one person alive, they're not gonna get kills out of it.
Not probably going to be too much excitement in the way of compositional changes for King's Row, more of a comfort choice. But I can tell you what is very exciting is Monster Energy Drink, who, big shout out to what these teams are fighting for. They're fighting for some delicious, energizing monster beverages that have been, generously provided as the prize pool for the Meow Division tournament over here. It does look like, as we have seen, both teams going to be running much the same sorts of compositions. The Soldier on King's first defense is interesting, but it does seem to be a comfort pick. I think
the Alari on Team One is also pretty interesting. They're really kind of playing poke, but they're doing it with the Junker Queen. It's going to maybe the Junker Queen is just there to, kind of help the team peel off the Doomfist. But we're gonna have to see how it goes.
It does feel like both teams are playing pretty heavily around their comfort. I know for me, my comfort is sipping on a nice can of Monster Energy. As the wall comes out for your son James, it's really nice on Tazalin. The shout is there though. Axe going to force out the ice block from your son James as both teams trading heavy amounts of damage. The Yachty pylon still up, providing lots of healing. The charge punch from Electroshock not going to find anything as the Doomfist is forced to give up some space at the choke. Monkey G going to be trying to be pressured out by the Sojourn from Grumpy Mook.
Yeah, I think they have to dispatch a Soldier. He's going to just find so much value. There's a Sojourn looking for that duel.
Does not work out. Win out though. That said, the Solican is able to find the pick onto Yua, and you do have. I think you take that trade, trading the Sojourn for the Ana. Your Junker Queen maybe less so. The Yachty pylon falling down. Yeah, Cleanse comes out for the anti and sleep onto Electroshock. Team One, they're gonna need to take a reset, take a clean engage, because with the Doomfist, the Mei, the Ana, the Kiriko, there's so much sustainability if you want to play slow for Team Alex Striker.
Yeah, I think without the Lucio, you kind of need to just rely on your DPS to kick kills. But as I say, that Solican does find Monkey G. Urson James falls dangerously low, kind of isolated a little bit.
There's the Blizzard. Going to find big value, finds two actually. Kitsune Rush also goes out. And that is going to be, it looks like a team wipe for Alex Striker. That's a really, really nice Blizzard. Not quite enough follow-up onto your son James to stop that from coming out. That said, though, Team Alex Striker commit 3 ults, and Team One have yet to use any. That feels like a bit of an overcommittal.
Yeah, I think Alex Striker's going to try to get a Nano Visor going, but I don't know if it's enough when you have pretty much everything on the side of Team One. Pretty much, maybe just like one of those ults could shut down the Nano Visor. Nano Visor's not even particularly very strong.
That's a Doomfist looking to disrupt the supports as Team One engages. Monkey G falls down. Yeah, the Visor's impossible now. Yeah, Nano Boost still committed. And Electroshock is going to find Nora, but Jeff Kaplan goes down to the Bobo Solokin. Electroshock now is going to fall dangerously low, just barely survives, but can't contest point any longer. And it looks like with about 1 minute left on the timing, first point is going to be going the way of Team Number One.
Yeah, and they only had to use 2 ultimates, just the Bob and the Rampage. That's a very efficient fight. Now you have your Nano Overclock, and you have the, I actually don't know what that ult's called, Olari's ult.
Captive Sun.
Yeah, there it is. And still just the Visor on the side of Alex Striker. Visor itself is not a particularly impactful ultimate. You have to kind of just go on a large flank and hopefully catch some people by surprise. Oh, the Illari just takes too wide of an angle. It just gets picked off. But they still push the card decent amount. Push it to Archway.
As the Doomfist of Electroshock, you have to be playing pretty carefully here, you know, not overcommitting onto trying to follow that pick from Silicon. Very big slam comes out. Charge punch as well. Electroshock just committing very, very heavily. Has the Meteor Strike. Obviously, it's an option to try and bail out trouble, but I think as team number one, you have to be looking to find some sort of punish onto the Doomfist, or some angles to open up, to, you know, prevent your team from just getting stuffed into this choke.
Yeah, you know, they with the Doomfist and the Mei, they're gonna have a hard time just pushing through this archway. They need to find some kind of flank. There it is. Silicon on the high ground gets a pick, but that's too little, too late.
Yeah, you do have ultimates though for Team 1.
That is true. They do have ultimates. I suspect a nano overclock. Actually, they're pretty much back at 5 ultimates. But I think they need to find the positioning. Oh, that's a very late pick.
Picked off by your son James. But that said, Monkey G and Electroshock even more overcommitted. Both fall down, and that's going to be the second point defense. From the side of Alex Striker, forced to take it back. That's a nice knife onto Yua, going to find that late pick onto the Ana. This is dangerous territory now for Alex Striker. If they stagger out here, they could get just steamrolled all through second point. Jumping move taking a very, very aggressive angle up top. Going to need some support from the team. There we see the audio and the Jungle Queen pushing up to help. Doomfist pressures out the Sojourn, but the slide is able to come in time to escape. And Team 1 gotten themselves so much space. There's one fight left on second point now.
Yeah, I think the last fight was disastrous. They lost Alex Striker lost so much space, and you know their Team 1 are back to all ultimates. And there we go. Oh,
that's a
wall,
nice wall from your son James, going to stop the rampage from Zalan. Kitsune Rush now comes out to answer the overclock, which isn't able to find any value just yet. The flanking visor from Monkey G, Nora not quite able to find the connection with the sleep dart, and it looks like that's going to be 3 eliminations for Monkey G, and the attack cleaned up for Team Alex Striker. 1 minute left on the time bank for Team 1.
Yeah, 2 ultimates for 2 ultimates. I think Alex Striker can be very happy with that fight, especially since you know the overclock and the rampage are very dangerous. They can get huge value, each getting like 3Ks, 4Ks. So now they only have Bob, Nano, and Captive Sun, and a lot of these are relying on the enemy.
And Monkey G finds those Monkey G finds those picks. Team 1 need to find some sort of clean disengage, but they're staying in the fight. They only have 20 seconds left. At this rate, they might not even be able to touch. As the Captive Sun comes out to answer the nano boost at the Blizzard, Grumpy Mook, though, is going to be the one to fall. Zalan going down as well. And with 10 seconds left, it looks like Team 1 might not even be able to find a touch.
No, definitely not. No one's alive. No one's anywhere close. Very disastrous for Team 1.
Hurts.
They had such a big ult thing, and they just couldn't find the opportunities to use it.
It does look like Team Alex Striker just a bit more comfortable on this map. Just, the Doomfist and the Mage just really setting the tempo in those narrow chokes. And if you're not able to find, the really heavy punish onto the Doomfist, or if you're not able to find the flank angles with your DPS, it's so hard to break those defensive holds.
Yeah, I think Team 1, they just kept holding their ultimates. Especially with Captive Sun, you kind of just have to use that at will. If you use it in a losing fight, it's not going to find that much value. You need the damage to actually capitalize on it. And they there's only one Captive Sun used at all. I think there's only maybe like 1 nano coming out of Team 1 too. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's a tough composition to play into the Mei Doomfist. Just breaking a Mei defense in general on King's Row is very tough. That said, though, Team Alex Striker, they're going to be on the attack now.
Maybe a Pharah coming out?
Your son James on? No, I think it's just the spawn start up top with some Lane Roberts snipes. But yeah, the Mei comp on the attack is going to be interesting to see, because especially with the double hit scan on the side of Team 1 controlling those high grounds on first point, we could. I think a full hold even is in the cards here.
It's gonna be pretty tough though. If the Queen gets walled off, that's pretty much a death sentence. They got Team One did pull off the BAP Kiriko, a full comp switch for the supports. Very deep punch.
Electric
The Kiriko TPs.
calculation. Jeff Kaplan goes in to try and support the Doomfist, but it's both of them going to fall. Monkey G does find that high ground off angle, but with 2 down for Team Alex Striker, Grumpy Moog is free to push up, clean up the soldier, and it's a very clean first fight win for Team Number One.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan made a huge mistake TPing in, having to use the Suzu and still dying. Yeah, you have to use your TP as an escape tool, but Jeff Kaplan just went in with it into the entire team.
It's a bit of an overcommitment and perhaps a miscommunication on that punch from the Doomfist. Electroshock going to be coming out with another big punch in, slam out, as the DPS for Team Alex Striker looking to try and find that space on the high ground. Now the punch does connect for Electroshock, but it's big pressure coming out onto Monkey G. Grumpy Moog finding these shots with not too much pressure coming out onto the Sojourn, but Jeff Kaplan finds the pick onto Solik and trade it out onto Yua. Grumpy Moog now is the one contesting points. That's a nice immortality field from Nora, going to save all of the members of Team Number One. Jeff Kaplan falls dangerously low, but Nora gets pushed. You really need to see some targets getting focused down for Team Number One, but instead it's your son James just able to come up first with the Blizzard.
Yeah, and all through that fight, Monkey G just sat on that high ground, no one contesting him. He's going to find value eventually. And they just kind of let them take point. Once they got Alex Striker was able to take their position on point.
It really is as this co-comp, you need to stop Team Alex Striker from taking the positions they want to fight in, right? Once the Doom and the Mei are able to get close into your face, they sort of just win. So you need to have the strong target focus to put heavy damage onto them and punish them for trying to close those distances. But it looks like the defense just a little bit disjointed.
Yeah, I would have
Team Number One.
I would have liked to see Celican or Grumpy Moog hold that high ground, or just hold high grounds in general. Make sure that Monkey G can't take that high ground so easily. But Electroshock just falls too deep.
Hey, this is a big commitment. The Rampage comes out from Zal and gets cleansed by Jeff Kaplan, though. And it's going to be the Junker Queen who's in trouble, trying to really stop the momentum of this point, as there's really one fight win is all Team Alex Striker need, and they're looking for it now. The Kitsune Rush comes out for Jeff Kaplan. The window to answer and the Bob, all being thrown out left, right, and center, but looks like Team Alex Striker are getting the better of it. It's a full team wipe, and that is going to be King's Row in quite decisive fashion, going the way of Team Alex Striker.
Yeah, that looked like a very comfortable map for Alex Striker. Pretty much didn't sweat there at all.
Yeah, just the Mei showing up so big, so many big blizzards, so many big walls, and just the Mei's presence, right? Once you're able to take a spot and just occupy it, when there's no Lucio, no Bastion, no Symmetra on the side of Team One, we saw them just time and again really struggle to evict your son James from those defensive positions. If they're going to try and find a foothold in this series, I think. Well, if they're going to try and find their advantage back in the series, I think they're going to need to come up with some sort of answer to that Mei of your son James.
Yeah, I think I would like to see Team One maybe switch up the comp a bit, because they pretty much picked a full poke comp, the Junker Queen, and the Junker Queen kind of just doesn't do anything with that. You can't really get in. Your team isn't going to go in with you. You're kind of just on your own. And I think if the Doom just dives your backline, what can you do besides hope for a hook or a knife pull? But if it doesn't happen, you're just kind of useless.
Yeah, it's a comfortable pick for Zelen, I think, and we saw some really great individual mechanical plays coming out of the Junker Queen, but without the Lucio, without something like a Reaper, Genji, or even a Lucio boosted Sojourn or something like that to really help you take decisive engagements and get really on top of those squishy members from Team Alex Striker, you're forced to really just be frontline trading with a Mei and a Doomfist, and as Junker Queen, that's not at all what you want to be looking for.
Yeah, and there's sometimes where Zion did end up getting on top of the Ana, killing the Ana, but it doesn't particularly work out, because then it's just too slow, and then everyone is already dead by the time you get that Ana.
Yeah, it is just looking to either leverage the sort of strength of the Junker Queen a bit more consistently with, a Lucio composition. And I think really like looking at the picks we've seen coming out from Team One, I you know there isn't any reason that that should be like outside of their wheelhouse, outside of their capacity to play a sort of Junker Queen rush. I think they have the character picks, but I think it's either that or really commit to like the double hit scan, flanking soldier, um, poke heavy comp with something like an Orisa or a Sigma or some sort of comp, some sort of a tank rather that's a bit better in those like slow fights. Because that's really what we've seen all series is these fights just going quite slow and like relying pretty heavily on individual pop offs of DPS finding picks or Ana's finding anti nades, things like that, to open up the fights uh, without either tank really having the compositional ability to consistently be able to find aggressive engagements. That said, it looks like our flashpoint pick is going to be New Junk City.
Yeah, I think New Junk City is where you really benefit from Lucio on both sides. If you can't get, yeah, you have to be fast on this map. Being slow is just so painful. Especially if you need to cap point, that the points just tick up so fast. You have to take fast engagements. You have to win fights fast. These slow fights could make or break these teams.
And yeah, like I can attest to, on paper at least, Team 1 definitely have the capacity to run these Lucio comps. I'm not too sure about Team Alex Striker. But as we head into New Junk City, yeah, I really want to see some different looks from these teams. The Lucio in particular is just so strong on on close-up maps and also on maps where how fast you can just get to the objective, how many fights you can get within a span of time matters. And that's New Junk City. That's Flashpoint to a T.
Yeah, I think the comp that we've been seeing from Alex Striker probably works a bit better. They've run the Kiriko, they run the Doomfist, they run the Soldier. These are very mobile characters, and it seems like they're pulling out the Moira as well. So really, the only slow character is Urson James on the Mei. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem for them to play fast. Looking over to Team 1, you still poke with a Junker Queen, but now you have a Bastion. That could be very interesting. They also have a Zen. I'm not sure how well these are going to work into the Doomfist.
It's very interesting. Yeah, the Bastion without the Lucio is sort of tricky to find value with. That said, it's a very strong comfort pick for Grumpy Mook. I think they're gonna have to play a lot around like punishing the Mei and the Doomfist, who are really the most isolatable. But yeah, there's so much mobility on the side of Team Alex Striker here, and so much just like sustainability. These characters, the Doomfist pushing into the backline of Team 1 now, and Grumpy Mook getting perhaps cut out a little bit by that soldier on Monkey G, but it's an overcommitment from Electroshock. The follow-up isn't quite there with the Bastion and Junker Queen zoning them out, and it's going to be Team 1 taking this first fight.
Yeah, I think Electroshock just way too deep by himself. The rest of his team is getting zoned off by the Bastion. And, kind of just 1v4s the rest of the team, 1v4s, dies again. He's just so deep, and he's not getting the help because his team's not there.
Yeah, like with this team from Alex Striker, like you have a lot of individual sustainability, but you don't have a lot of individual sort of dive potential or rush potential. You have to play slow, play for picks and like angle pressure, and play conservatively on the Doomfist. Whereas the Junker Queen and the Bastion just can put so much pressure in your face. It's so hard as a tank to survive engaging into that. And it's Team number 1 consistently finding those picks to sleep from Nora, gonna result in an elimination onto your son James.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I thought the Doomfist card would work better in this on Flashpoint, but it looks like they can't get into this Junker Queen Bastion Zen comp. They're just kind of running into them, but then they get one with damage. Their Zen is so deep.
It looks like Team 1 are really just saying, like, if we're going to play this slow, if we're going to make it just a poke trade, then, we'll play the Zen, we'll play the Bastion, these characters that if you try and trade poke with them, you just can't win. And Electroshock is too late with the touch. Nanoboo's going to come out on Grumpy Mook, but it's not even necessary. The first Flashpoint goes the way of Team 1, 100-0. Team Alex Striker do manage to find the cleanup finally, and that's going to put them in an advantageous situation going into this Next flashpoint. Both tanks actually get staggered out though. I'm not sure where Electroshock was to be falling there. But
yeah, but Electroshock on the Doomfist getting staggered out is not a huge deal. He's gonna be back very fast as opposed to Zalin. We got quite a few ultimates coming up for this next fight. I suspect a Rampage out of Zalin. Or
yeah, Electroshock already is back online actually. Back with the team.
Ooh, Nor dies. That's a lot of healing gone from for Team 1.
That's it. Electroshock misses the punch, gets put in way too deep. Blizzard comes out from your son James to try and salvage it, but the Transcendence is there for SpongeBob. No eliminations coming out for the side of Alex Striker, but team number 1, they need to move fast. Capture point is Supreme. That's a nice shot onto your son James. Rampage comes out to deny the visor of Monkey G. Really, any value. Mook going to clean that up, and it is going to be Team 1 at 50% capture progress, flipping this flashpoint, finding perhaps some late stagger picks as well onto Team Alex Striker. Not quite, not quite.
Yeah, I think Monkey G is too late on that visor. Like, people are already falling, positioning is already being given up, and it's just, and you know, visor straight into a Rampage doesn't really work very well.
Yeah, they're really struggling, I think, also just to like punish Mook on the Bastion. You know, if you don't really coordinate and focus your fire, the Bastion is so survivable, does so much damage, can just get so much done. And Zalin now just really like keeping this backline split from Electroshock. Team Alex Striker, you know, they just keep giving pick after pick. They're struggling to find an angle. The wall does buy some space, Team Alex Striker, but no more. There's now big ultra coming in. Zalin going very deep with the axe. And it's Jeff Kaplan who gets caught off. Gonna fall to Zalin. Electroshock also going down. SpongeBob falls. But that's not gonna be enough. Zalin coming up with, what, 3 in the kill feed as this second flashpoint going over to Team 1 as well.
Yeah, I think Zalin's just living so long, and then, you know, the Doomfist just runs past, the Kiriko runs past, but then he's just shooting at your backline. Zalin just is alive in your backline, you know, nothing's being done about it.
With the Ana-pocketed Bastion just has so much survivability, and yeah, like with the Zenyatta, there's so much damage if Electroshock ever tries to engage hard. I think you really need to see Monkey G getting a bit greedier with these flanks, trying to really punish the lack of mobility on the side of Team 1, trying to really like gun down those slow-moving big targets like the Bastion or like the Zenyatta, who is going to be caught out of position, going to fall, but not before Electroshock goes down. Grumpy Mook flanks onto the flank as we have players just all over the place, eliminations falling. First cap is going to go the way of Team Alex Striker, but how long can they hold it? As their backline is in severe trouble, Jeff Kaplan falls as well now. The Blizzard gets committed by your son James. I really don't know about that.
I think maybe Zan could have been picked off there, and that would have been a huge pick, but it just doesn't happen, and that's a Blizzard that they'll sorely miss.
Yes, the only ultimate online for the side of Team Alex Striker is the Meteor Strike for Electroshock, and soon to be a Coalescence for Yua, but that's into support ults and soon to be both DPS ults, the side of Team 1, who are already up 2 flashpoints.
Yeah, this is very dire. This is our last chance. Solid can
get caught off. You cannot afford for your soldier to be going down on the flank.
Yeah, are they gonna keep fighting us or just kind of wait? By the time they get this next fight, it's last fight territory. They have to win this next fight, and they have to keep winning for the rest of the map.
Your son James looking to find some pressure onto that front line of team number 1. Looks like they're going to be pushing for the high ground with the Mei on a sort of an off angle. Doomfist tries to engage. Monkey G does find the pick on a Solokin. Grumpy Mook also going to fall. It does look like Team Alex Striker are able to find the eliminations, and with only the Meteor Strike expended, that is big value for them.
Yeah, looks like they're able to get a second chance at this. They're gonna have to win this next fight perfectly. But look at the ult bank on Team 1. Yeah, I mean, Alex Striker has quite a few ultimates themselves, but I don't think they provide as much value. I think you take the Bob over the Visor. I think the Nano is just so valuable, and then you have the
Monkey's just on the flank though. giving up the position early, I don't know if I agree with that. I think you really need your soldier to be finding big value with an early flank visor to shut down team number one as they're looking to push in with those ultimates. The artillery strike coming out from Grumpy Mook
Doesn't
going to
find
be
any.
trying to push open some space for Team Alex Striker as your Sun James gets caught out, gets picked off, and the Bob now comes out from Solokin, going to be flying all the way past the point, but it's actually going to deny it. Oh, the Electroshock goes off the map! That's a disastrous missed punch.
This is just over for Alex Striker. I don't think they can do anything. Visor is the last ditch effort, but into a trance, into your queen in your face, nothing can be done. Team 1 takes this map.
Yeah, they just pivot into the Bastion, and you know the Bastion Zenyatta so much damage. Team Alex Striker just not quite able to really find the answer to it. I think it's a bit of just like the ult economy or the fight planning aspects, right? Where they're not quite able to set up the soldier on off angles to be really punishing the lack of mobility from the Bastion and the Zenyatta. They're not quite able to find the initiative in that last fight, in particular, to go first with their ultimates when they're at an ult disadvantage and stop Team 1 from just rolling over them with that huge ult bank. Yeah, Team 1 going to, the first map was very close, but the next two maps, one for Alex Striker, one for Team 1, both have looked dominant.
Yeah, I think Electroshock, now that there is a lot more open map, when he plays so aggressive, so aggro straight into the Bastion's end, he can't get it help as easily. I think he needs to pay attention to when the form comes out for the Bastion and when he gets discorded, because if he can dodge that, it would be a lot easier for him to get value.
And I think especially with the it is really tough with the Doomfist engaging into the Bastion, because if you time it wrong, you just get exploded. You really need to be like playing your timing with your soldier on the flanks to sort of play around pressure on multiple angles. Because really, if you're just playing one angle, face up, we saw the problem of the sort of two maps in a row, really neither team playing too much in the way of DPS on off angles, and we saw really just the May Doomfist on those narrow chokes of King's Row finding so much value, and the Ash Sojourn setup from Team 1 just not able to break through it. We've seen a reversal of fortunes now with the Soldier Doomfist. You need them to be applying pressure from multiple angles to break open that Bastion comp from Team 1. That's won them the point. As we head over to push, it's match point. If Team 1 take this, they're gonna take the series. They're gonna take home some Monster Energy drink, which has been once again generously provided. But yeah, Team Alex Striker's map pick, it looks like, I believe we are heading over to Esperanza.
I think Esperanza probably a good dive map. I think they're gonna try to work this Doom in the best possible way. Against, I think the Bastion Zen probably won't work as well on this map, but
yeah, I mean the flank soldier, like playing Bastion or Zen into soldier on Esperanza is really, really, really hard. So I think you'd expect Monkey G to come up big, but I'm surprised they didn't pick Coloseo, because they've been really insistent on the Doomfist and the May comp, which in those like narrow, tight choke sort of points can be very powerful. But I'm struggling to see how much value your Sun James can really find on May on such a wide open flanky map as Esperanza.
I agree. I think the soldier works very well, but the May probably not. I'm struggling to think of like good wall spots. I'm struggling to think of what they can do with this wall that can really find great value.
Yeah, I mean, May Sim, like if you're playing like a sort of teleport, like bunker / rush comp, like what London Spitfire play, that can be enormous value on really any map if you play it well enough. But we haven't seen any Symmetra play. We haven't seen any Reinhardt play, anything like that, any inklings of that sort of composition. And it looks like, indeed, we're going to be mostly sticking to the same composition. You are going over to the Baptiste, though, so that's interesting. You could sort of do like a two-player, like bunkery unit of you and your Sun James, while the rest of the team play very flanky around lots of off angles. But Solokin, Team 1 not opting into the Bastion. I think I agree with that. Bastion, hard to find value against Soldier on this map. But I just feel like inherently with the longer sight lines and so many flanks, I feel like the Ashe, the Soldier, and the Junker Queen, just gonna be able to find more value, especially with Sponge Bobo on the Brig, to try and shut down Electroshock on the Doomfist, who's already setting up on that high ground position, going to be trying to challenge that space.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of the DPS, who can find picks first, and probably a battle of who can shut down Electroshock, as there he falls yet again, and they just can't get in. They can't find these picks. Ursinjit wants to get in, but by the time he does, Electroshock is already dead.
Yeah, I mean, the Doomfist can find big value in disrupting these slow-moving players with slams and, opening up space for the Soldier to find flanks, but just going in too aggressive, too fast there, getting picked off. And, hard engaging as Doomfist without, like, without a Sombra, without a Tracer, or a Genji to be following up with you, very difficult. Grumpy Mook saved by the Belga supports, really.
Yeah, and now you only have Bap. Bap's healing, is gonna not as long range as Ana. It's gonna be a little harder for the healing to code the Electroshock. And you don't have the anti.
Both supports fall for Team Alex Striker, but 2 down on the side of Team 1. Nice shots from Solican, though. Gonna clean up your son James. Keep pushing the point, but it's only Solican alive, I believe, for Team 1. Not gonna be able to push that too much longer. But if you're, these messy fights where you're just like trading picks, one after the other, and nobody's able to really find a decisive victory, 37 meters isn't too much, but it's still a definite lead for Team 1. And as long as you're in the lead, you're happy to play things slow. You're happy to stall out.
Yeah, but if you don't get if you're Team 1, you don't get that quick fight win. Alex Striker's more global comp can take advantage of that. They can come back, especially the Doomfist can come back a lot faster. So maybe, you do have the lead, but how much more lead can you get for Team 1?
Looks like Nora is getting pushed out, going to be falling to Electroshock. The Rampage comes out for Zalin, but gets answered by the Protection Suzu from Jeff Kaplan. Yua falls, but not before Monkey G is able to come out with the visor. Its ult's getting traded left and right here, but it does look like Team Alex Striker coming out on top. Grumpy Mook falling dangerously low. That said, though, Monkey G is in a dangerous spot. Both DPS very, very, very low for Team 1, who are, it looks like, eventually going to lose this fight, but it's a slow fight, not the cleanest, and 3 ults invested for Team Alex Striker to only 2.
Oh, Nora falls, gets headshot by Jeff Kaplan. That's disastrous. Now they don't have their Ana, they don't have their big source of healing, and they just have to keep backing up. But Electroshock is picked up yet again.
Yeah. On the Immortality field, just a little bit too late. And yeah, the Baptiste and the Doomfist just sort of struggling really to find too much synergy with each other. Electroshock really having a hard time, just getting punished on these hard engages. Your son James, though, finds an answering pick onto Solokin, and Doomfist is going to be back fast. It's just like Team Alex Striker are able to hold this position for now. Overclock comes out from Grumpy Mook, going to put Monkey G in a dangerous spot. Nano Boost is well coming out. And it looks like there's going to be Team 1 just barely averting the lead flip for Team Alex Striker, taking back the bot.
Yeah, and that's the kind of clean fight that Team 1 that you need for Team 1. Now they can get some real progress on the board. The Doom won't be back. The Soldier's not going to be back for a while. And they might even cap the checkpoint here.
Yeah, you really, and with the Doom just rolling out on the left side, that is a very high probability. You really need to look for Electroshock to find a touch, but Electroshock doesn't have the meteor strike. It's only the amplification matrix online for Team Alex Striker, who aren't able to contest. The amplification matrix does come out. It's going to find the elimination onto Solokin, nearly one onto Sponge Bobu. Grumpy Mook falling. Zalin going to be going down as well. So Team Alex Striker do manage to take this fight back, just with Team 1 being in that vulnerable position on the low ground, but they have the checkpoint. They have checkpoint, and they didn't use any ults.
Yeah, that's very bad for Alex Striker, because they have a lot of progress to make up, and it seems like all of Team 1 got the forward spawns. So they're gonna be able to come back into this fight a lot faster. And they have some decent ults coming out.
Yeah, the rally, I think really used the rally just to like punish and explode Electroshock. So the one who's getting punished and exploded right now is Solokin. Tries to find the flank angle, but the response is too fast from Electroshock. Solokin falling, and with that early pickoff, Team Alex Striker might be able to find their way back into this. Electroshock does fall, but not before the Blizzard comes out from your Sun Chains, and it's huge! There's 3 going down. Heavy ult investment from Alex Striker, but you're happy with that unless you take the checkpoint, and perhaps, very probably actually take the lead.
Yeah, and also pretty heavy in ult investment. No ultimates on the side of Team 1. Their big ultimate that they needed to really find value, which is the Rampage, it didn't find any value.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but as far as I'm concerned, I think Rampage, realistically, who are you rampaging here? You know, this is a Kiriko May Doomfist. It's really hard to actually find a big Rampage, and I think the ult rotation on the side of Team Alex Striker is actually just a bit better. As Team 1, they're all clumped up. The Zenyatta of SpongeBob falling under heavy pressure from the Soldier of Monkey G, and they are able to find your Sun James. It looks like Team Alex Striker just getting into a bit of split positioning. Team 1 are going to be able to find the punish. Nice knife from Zalan, going to be able to not quite find the elimination, but find the damage on the Monkey G as they start pushing the bot again. But Team Alex Striker, they did what they needed to do. They secured the lead. And now we're going to be seeing a big ult fight. UofT popping off with the Baptiste, though, even with the Amplification Matrix in hand.
I think that's a very good idea. I don't think they can find too much value out of the Amplification Matrix. I think the antis and the nanos are way better for Alex Striker's comp, especially with the Doomfist.
They're all going to be dropping low ground, though. Monkey G and your Sun James on height, but it's Jeff Kaplan who goes down. And Yu is in a very, very vulnerable position here. The supports of Team 1 are going to be able to keep themselves alive. Monkey G finds the pick on a Solokin, but it's a little bit too late. Team number 1, they're able to find the lead again. I think it was a good idea from Team Alex Striker. I liked it to like send the Soldier wrap around onto the flank, but it's just like the flanking players, you know, a little bit too slow to find the great value they need. Yeah, and the players on point just a little bit too aggressive, too far up, too fast.
Yeah, especially you
applying the pressure.
Especially you on the Ana, way too close. Lets the Junker Queen just run up on him. Can't really be in that position. You have to play on the high ground and make sure you can't get pushed. Not
now,
sure.
Team 1, they're finding so much momentum. They have 5 ults online.
Yeah, it looked like Alex Striker was
just... In this stage of the map, the Junker Queen just finds so much value.
This is getting very dangerous. 5 ultimates for Team 1. Only 3 for Alex Striker. The Blizzard could cause some damage. It can, you know, find a lot of these picks, but they have Team 1 has Transcendence to answer.
Yeah, you know, on push, really anything can happen. If Team Alex Striker managed to find good enough ults, they can win this, and the Blizzard is going to be used to isolate Zalan. Electroshock finds the isolation on SpongeBob as well, and Team 1 not able to find the positioning, find the tempo control to set the pace with any of their own ultimates. Team Alex Striker, with only the Blizzard invested, are going to take this fight win. I think that's something they very, very happily take. They need to find another fight or two like this back-to-back. As Team 1 are already going to be back, all getting the forward spawn, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, but still, they have all their ultimates, and now they can just transfer free. They don't need to transfer the Blizzard. I think that they're probably just gonna maybe go for an aggressive trans just to keep Zalan alive while he pushes the backline.
Speaking of Zalan, Zalan is taking a very aggressive flank here, looking for perhaps the Rampage onto the Soldier, but the Kiriko there denies it. And no supports with Zalan means they're forced to back off. Team Alex Striker finds so much space, but it's Electroshock falling under very heavy pressure. Lens comes out and is answered with a huge Rampage from Zalan. 3 players get caught by it, 2 already falling. And the Kitsune Visor comes out for Team Alex Striker, but it's not going to be enough. Monkey G finds 2, but the Zenyatta and Ashe alive on the side of Team number 1 means that they're the ones who take this fight.
Oh, that one's switching on the side of Team 1. I don't think they can make it to this point. They're not pushing it. It's not getting pushed.
Strike comes out. Electroshock does manage to find the touch. Nano Boost comes out, but Yua falling into a very dangerous spot. The wall is beautiful from your Sun James to keep the Ana alive, but the Bob is huge. Punjabobu, though, falls down to Electroshock. Your Sun, Solokin and your Sun James both getting traded out. Electroshock still surviving. The backliners for Team Alex Striker still surviving, but it's the Nano Overclock from Grumpy Moo. Silent falling, though, on the Junker Queen to a sleep from Yua. Still alive, but Nora Avi, both Anas get traded out. It's chaos. Both teams trying desperately.
Oh, almost the same time.
Striker find the touch, but Zalin is finding the picks. The Junker Queen not quite getting cleaned up. Grumpy Mook is chasing after Monkey G as the tanks just duel on point, but the Zenyatta is already back, so is the Mei. But as two falling, it's only the Mei left, and they say Alex never strikes twice. As Team Number 1 are going to take the series 3-1, proving they are in fact number 1 in the Meow division, taking home the championship, taking home their prizes provided by Monster Energy in a real, just like nail biter of a push map to close out the series.
Yeah, it looked like Alex Striker might have had. I thought they were gonna, pull it back. I think that they had a really good position, especially since a lot of people were just coming back. In the previous fight, Team 1 had to use 3 or I think maybe 4 ultimates. They only had the Transcendence, so I was wondering if they could maybe even get kills off of it. But they did. They found those picks, found those kills, and eventually they just pulled through. I think it's just that last fight, Team 1 found the kills before Alex Striker could.
Yeah, that's just I think time and again we see Team 1 just a bit better at like setting the pace with the ultimates, and that's really what wound up deciding this final map, and I think what wound up just deciding the series. We saw some really great individual plays on the side of Team Alex Striker. Your Sun James, a really standout player with almost every Blizzard finding big value. But at the end of the day, it's not quite enough. As and yeah, Team Alex Striker, they gave a really valiant showing. Giving doing real great justice to their namesake, who I'm sure is going to be very pleased to see his performance. But congratulations to Team Number 1, who are our 2023 UofT Intramural Meow Division champions. And with that said, we're going to be moving on soon to the Dog Division, where it's going to be Team Cool Cats going against Team 4+1. And that is going to be at 8 p.m. tonight. So we'll be taking a break, but make sure you tune in for what is going to be another exciting UofT Intramurals grand final for the Dog Division coming up in 50 minutes at 8 p.m. Good evening and welcome everyone to the UofT Intramurals Dog Division Grand Finals. It's been a long road for all these teams to get here, battling their way through 7 total teams full of the best players that the University of Toronto Overwatch community has to offer. And at the end of this gauntlet, we have our top 2 teams facing off against each other. First up is going to be Team 4+1. Headed up by Mark Killer 67 on the where's 57? Mark Killer anyway on the tank role with and Throttle, 2 very scary hitscan players, and Defratal and Bendy 1620 on the support role. This is a very scary team. They really like leaning into those double hitscan compositions with their DPS. They have a very strong, flexible tank player in Mark Killer. They're a force to be reckoned with, and reckoning with them is going to be Team Cool Cats.
Yeah, so on Team Cool Cats, we've got yet another incredibly scary team. We got Sam Rouge and Salasio on the DPS, a very scary DPS duo. Phantom's on the tank. He's also incredibly good. We also have Caprixel and Drac on support, a very well-rounded and powerful support duo.
Yeah, and they're a bit more of a balanced style team, definitely more comfortable on those flex DPS picks. We definitely expect to see 4+1 with an advantage on things like double sniper maps, circuits, Junkertown, things like that. But first map is going to be, of course, none of those, because first map control is going to be Nepal. So now that's interesting. I think a lot of room for different play styles. I think Sigma, Mark Killer quite strong. The Sigma can be quite strong here, but honestly, I'm not sure exactly why, but something in me is expecting both these teams to come out on dive compositions.
Yeah, I know that Phantoms is actually a really good dive tank. He can pull out the Doomfist of Winston. I think Sam Rouge and Salasso are gonna be really deadly on dive DPS. It might come down to a poke DPS versus dive DPS. Who's gonna be able to find those picks?
Yeah, first point is going to be Nepal Sanctum, sort of defined by that big open space, and this is really going to be all about sort of the fondness of the teams to. It's a really hard space to sort of close against spam damage. So definitely 4+1. There's strong potential for them to lean into sort of a long-range double hit scan comp, and then it sort of becomes about who is more able to really effectively close the distance. That said, though, it looks like Team 4+1 running perhaps some variation on the sort of recent World Cup, Sigma Bastion composition. Team Cool Cats, though, running, it looks like sort of a
pretty standard
Winston,
dive.
Sojourn Tracer dive. Yeah, pretty standard. Sojourn definitely can do big damage against the Bastion. quite a scary threat if left unchecked. Of course, though, it's going to be tough for the Winston to really find good engages into the Bastion. Now, looks like it's a Bastion Sojourn, so huge poke damage on the side of Team 4+1 as they're pushing into this right side hallway. Mark Killer falling dangerously low. Bastion form comes out, not quite able to find value. Celisao and the Tracer dueling with Drawdle on the Sojourn in that Mega Room. There's a big dive in from Phantoms on the Winston. Anti comes out onto Watermelon on the Bastion. Drawdle off the map somehow. And that is going to be the fight cleanup in decisive fashion for Team Cool Cats.
Yeah, I think it was Samrucha, or was it Drawdle? One of the Sojourns ended up falling off the map there, but doesn't, the outcome didn't change. I was really surprised. Phantoms just went in there and didn't get blown up. I'm assuming he waited out the Bastion form, and they just didn't have the damage to really punish Phantoms for his aggression. And at the same time, Celisao was on the flank.
Yeah, Celisao just really doing so much distraction work. Another anti coming in. Drawdle falls low. Watermelon gets picked up by Samruch. The Sojourn, again, just doing so much damage to that Bastion. Mark Killer falling into the pit by a boot from Drac, and it looks like the second fight. Yeah, full spawn from Celisao to clean up. Yeah, Team 4+1 once again cannot find a foothold, as Mark Killer is going to be going over onto the Diva and Drawdle onto the Cassidy. This is interesting. Is this sort of like a Diva rush kind of a thing?
I think they're just trying to make Phantoms hate his life. They're trying to make him just blow up. Is it gonna work? I'm not entirely sure, because it looks like their dive is just, the dive from is just looking so clean at the moment.
Yeah, Caprixel just has so much space to be laying down those sleep darts, laying down those anti-nades. Nano comes out onto Phantoms. Depretel already going down. Caprixel gets picked up by Bendy, but who is traded out by Samrouge. 2 picks on the side of Team 4+1, but Cool Cats once again winning, what, the fourth consecutive fight in a row, and they're going to be staggering out Mark Killer.
Yeah, that's deadly.
That's the stagger.
They're not going to be able to come back with a good fight. They're going to have to touch this without their tank. And with the Bastion Cassie, they don't have a lot of speedy characters. It has to be the Lucio. But yeah, if he gets caught out, it's pretty much over for them.
Alphone comes out from Celisao, not quite able to find anything, but Phantoms looking to prevent the touch, goes in aggressive with the Primal Rage, already burned down by the Bastion, but there's no form now. Lucio Bendy does find the touch. Mark Killer forced to push on to point. Phantoms falls dangerously low as the artillery strike comes out from Watermelon. Prixel just narrowly managed to survive, gets picked up. Lucio of Bendy has already gone down. Drawdle gets taken down by Celisao as it's an all-out scrap on point, but it does look like Team 4+1 are going to be coming out perhaps on top.
It's not over just yet. They still have the Winston Tracer. And they're down their BAP. Pulse bomb hit, connects.
Ults flying left and right. The bomb manages to find Phantoms, doesn't get off of the corner just in time. And Team 4+1, despite that really valiant performance by Celisao, great pulse bomb, great tracer play, Team 4+1 just barely managed to eke out a fight win, but it costs them the beat and the Diva Bomb. They have no ultimates left, and Drac is close on a sound barrier. They cannot afford to lose a single fight at this point.
Cool Cats also have no ultimates though, and Phantoms goes over to the Junker Queen. I'm not entirely sure what this is trying to accomplish. They don't really, they can move fast, but if the enemy team can just out-rotate them, maybe the Junker Queen can't get that much value. Phantoms goes really deep.
They just dive right onto Watermelon, who does manage to pick up Celisao, but Bendy gets picked up by Phantoms again. Phantoms just doing so much work on the Junker Queen. Defratel going down. Maybe this is just a bit of a comfort pick. Phantoms looking to really flex those mechanics, and does so in, quite striking fashion, as it's just the Lucio and the Bastion looking to find the touch. The track caught emoting, gets picked up by Watermelon, but it's going to be taken out by Celisao. Bendy goes down, and it looks like that is going to be first point. Nepal Sanctum going very convincingly to the way of Team Cool Cats.
Yeah, that looked just almost clinical. Their dive looks so clean. They had to go Diva, Bastion, Cassidy, just to have a footing in this fight.
You're sort of seeing some of the problems of the double hit scan setup, right? Where the Bastion without a Mei, right, to be able to make that bunker strong. You can see the the Winston, the Tracer, they're just able to even the Sojourn, they're just able to control the space around the Bastion and just punish he's slow, he has big hitbox. Without something like a Mei to help control space for him, he just gets punished so hard. So we
You-
do see 4+1 still on the Bastion.
Yeah, but they have a pretty, much different comp. They have Orisa and they have Torbjorn. This is actually quite a bit of damage. And I think it's going to work a lot better into the Queen. The Orisa can just push back the Queen a lot better than a Diva can. That Queen is probably not going to get as much value.
Phantoms falls very low. Celisao with the wall, though, able to bail them out. Samrush gets taken out by Watermelon, but Drawdle falls down first. Drac goes down to Watermelon, but it is Team Cool Cats who get the first cap, and they do still have their Mei and their tank alive. They're going to be able to stall this out for quite a while. Mei comps on Nepal Village, famous for that stalling tactic, and they're continually accruing point capture, even with fewer players left alive. It's taken so long for Team 4+1 to eventually get the cleanup.
Yeah, but eventually they do get it, and now they're going to be able to set up a really defensive hold. Team Cool Cats don't have that sim. They're going to Sigma, probably trying to counteract against the heavy poke, the heavy,
Yeah.
just a lot, just try to make sure that damage doesn't get as much value. Oh, shield's almost already down. Forced hands.
Baptiste window comes out, not able to find too much, except for that it splits Phantoms off. I say that Watermelon with a Bastion nade manages to find Caprixel through the window. Drac gets caught as well, and that's both supports down for the side of Team Cool Cats. They're heading for the hills.
Yeah, that BAP window actually did so much. Half the team had to stay back. They couldn't peek. The other half the team had to just go forward. That means the Sigma couldn't get help from their Ana. They just couldn't, they just couldn't. They fall over once they get split like that.
It's really, really smart play from Defratel to just wait out the Sigma hands and wait out the Mei wall, or going with Baptiste window now that there's no cooldowns in place to prevent it. There's the Terra Surge combined with the Bastion Artillery. Doesn't quite manage to find any eliminations directly, but Caprixel gets picked up by the follow-up from Watermelon, finds another in Samruj on the flank, laying heavy damage into the Lucio and Mei of Team Cool Cats, but Mark Killer goes down. Beat comes out for Drac. Team Cool Cats are looking to fight this, and they do take down Watermelon. Drac with 2, Celisao picks up Defratel, and Team Cool Cats somehow, some way, despite losing 2 so early, do manage to get point back.
Yeah, that was actually a fantastic Mail. Gets the Orisa very low. The Orisa can't get out without your tank, and you just can't really push in as well. Watermelon was trying to push in, assuming that the tank was there, but Mark Killer was dead.
Yeah, it's just a great heads-up play by Drac. Your Ana's down, you have very low healing for the team, and so, Team 4+1, you're thinking, okay, we can push this, and we just sort of win. They only have Lucio healings. But then the beat comes out, another beat coming out, of course, for Bendy, trying to answer this flux from Phantoms, but Drawdle still gets picked off. Caprixel now with the Nano, perhaps looking for a target, getting attacked by Defratel, forced to drop to point. Maywall out for Celisao. It's all out chaos here. The Orisa falls very low from Arcular, though, forced to back up. Phantom's pushing heavily on this. Defratel drops the window, perhaps in desperation. Molten Core comes out as well. Drawdle gets picked up again, and there's the Nano Overclock onto Samruj. Going to be, I expect, cleaning this up. Celisao does die in the mid-cast of the Blizzard, though, but yeah, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, what a super messy fight from both these teams. Just ultimates thrown out left and right, but once that overclock with the Nano comes out, the Samruj is able to pick up kill after kill.
Bendy does manage to touch. Bendy does manage to touch, but yeah, the follow-up touch from Markular isn't there. Yeah, Cool Cats just really clean with it. Looking strong as they take first map on Nepal.
Yeah, the second round of that, it was a little closer, but I think once they made that Sigma swap, the Orisa just couldn't get that much value.
Yeah, and I think you really don't want to see Drawdle sticking on the Torbjorn there, right?
Yeah, definitely not. Orisa has some decent poke and break the turret, and just shooting into the Orisa isn't going to get that much value. I think if you want to, or sorry, and shooting into the Sigma, if you want to play that instead of the Torbjorn, maybe they should have picked up like a Sim, maybe. Burn the shield. Sigma can't use hands. I think the Sim probably would have worked better, but you know,
Yeah, I think they're really, they're coming out with the Torbjorn sort of expecting Celisao to be running the Tracer, which was such a thorn in their side, and did such a good job shutting down the Bastion from Watermelon. But without really, they're running May Sojourn. When Team Cool Cats aren't running Dive, when they're not running the Tracer, the whole purpose of the Torbjorn really seems to be just to deny the Tracer value, deny the flankers. And without those flankers, it is just like a pointless pick. Even on just like a Sojourn or a Soldier 76, you have better better range damage, you have a better ability to pressure the May, pressure the Sojourn, sort of control high ground angles, especially.
yeah, maybe even like a Tracer or a Genji to pressure their Ana because without a Brig, their Ana's kind of kind of an easy target, but the Torb can't really do that as well. Torb definitely wasn't a fantastic pick. I think they had the right idea at the beginning, but once they saw that there's no diving going on, they definitely want to get off that Torbjorn.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're seeing just like how tough it is to run, like especially with the nerfs lately to Bastion. How tough those Bastion comps can be to run, especially into players who are as good as Cool Cats are on picks like the Sigma, the Tracer, the Sojourn. To punish the Bastion, you really need very strong synergy with the second DPS to help hold space for the Bastion and especially help him survive when he doesn't have turret form. And so we saw just Watermelon getting punished time after time after time. Uh, we'll have to see, what 4+1 have up their sleeve as we head into our next map. We're going to King's Row.
Yeah, I think on King's Row, maybe we'll see some Reinhardt from Team Cool Cats, maybe from Team 4+1. Hopefully we see some Reinhardt. We haven't seen a lot of Reinhardt today.
Yeah, no, Mark Killer very strong on the Reinhardt, actually.
Yeah, and Phantoms is also very flexible. He can definitely pull off the Reinhardt when need be. And I think we have some really strong May players as well. So I fully expect Rush versus Rush, Brawl versus Brawl. We're gonna see some very, like just mano-a-mano fights.
Yeah, Team Cool Cats having Celisao to play the May. I honestly don't know if Team 4+1 have a player who's very comfortable on the May, and we've seen how much Celisao is able to get done on Village, and May once again very very strong on King's Row. That said, though, it's also a very strong Widow map, and we know Drawdle really likes the Widowmaker, is going to be starting out on it. We might be seeing a double sniper comp for the side of Team 4+1. What do you think about that?
I think, especially on first point with the longer sidelines, the Widow could get a lot of value done. But yes, it almost seems like Team Cool Cats they're kind of reading that. They pull out on the dive. The Widow's gonna be a lot harder now when you don't really, you're gonna have a Tracer in your face, you have a Winston in your face. That maybe this Widow can work, but I think that Widow needs to find that first pick. If
Yeah,
find the first pick, it's kind of over.
Yeah, I was thinking Team Cats would look to set up with the May on their defense, but it looks like they're smarter than I am. They anticipated the double sniper, and Celisao on the Tracer, Phantoms on the Winston can really make Drawdle's life hell. We're gonna have to see how much these hitscan players can get done. We're seeing already Team 4+1 switching onto the Bastion and the Lucio. Drawdle's staying on the Widowmaker, but they're looking really to punish Phantoms hard on the Winston. Already falls down to half health from a rock from Mark Killer. Turret form comes out from Watermelon, and there we go. Phantoms and Drac cleaned up. Celisa's still alive, but it's 3 down for Team Cool Cats. That's just a really fast adaptation. Seeing the Winston immediately come out onto the Bastion and blow him up before really Team Cool Cats have a chance to adjust. And now we see another counter swap on the side of Cool Cats, moving over onto a sort of Sigma Genji. So I think again their fight plan really is to just very heavily punish that Bastion of Watermelon.
Yeah, just live against the Bastion. With the Winston, you're just not gonna, live. But they're keeping the Tracer Genji. I'm not sure how well it's going to work. Maybe they're sticking to it because of the Widow. Drawdle in that earlier fight was able to get the first pick. But if it keeps working out like that, maybe they'll just keep team 4+1 just gonna keep pushing through.
Drawl
boy. Beautiful shot.
Insane pick on a Samurage.
Another shot.
Yeah, Drawl just has so much space here. The flankers just not quite able to find the angles they need to really pressure Drawdle, who has so much support from the team to find those shots, shut down Team Cool Cats. And Team 4+1 are looking strong on King's Row.
Yeah, if you let Drawdle get that space, he's going to be absolutely deadly. We see a Mei swap coming from Team Cool Cats. I think it's going to be mostly to deny the Bastion space, deny the Sigma space, maybe cut off the Sigma and just rush onto him. Especially when you have a Genji, you can play a lot faster. But again,
you have to wonder how much the Genji is going to be able to get done, really, without a Tracer, without a Sojourn, without a Jungle Queen or a Winston. He's going to have a hard time finding those hard engages. The window comes out, and already Team Cool Cats just exploded once again. Drawdle comes up with 2. The rest of his team clean up 3 more. That's 5.5 minutes heading into second point on King's Row for Team 4+1.
Yeah, this is looking very dire. This is not where you want to be if you're Team Cool Cats. The Genji goes down again. Drawdle is so deadly on this Widow right now. Oh my god. He is nasty. They need to shut this Widow down. He's just getting so much space, so much value, finding these picks left, right, and center.
Winston really shut down. Celso does find the right clicks. Pick up Drawdle, but Phantoms is down. Team Cool Cats still committing. Beat comes out. Flux in response. Celso forced to use the ice block. Watermelon gets picked up by Samurage, is finally able to find some space, find some value with that Genji. Mark Killer falling on the front line, but Samurage is forced to back out. Celso low health, getting healed up by Drac. As Team Cool Cats, it looks like they are going to be able to, for the first time, win a fight on their defense and start to hold. Now the Nano Flux. Beat comes out in response. Celso gets picked out, but does manage to find the Blizzard. Defratel falls. Drawdle as well. The Blizzard really splitting up. Team 4+1. Watermelon applying heavy pressure to Phantoms, but not able to convert into any elimination. Samurage falling late there does mean 4+1 still have a foot in the door, but they haven't been able to quite find a great entrance. Mark Killer gets staggered out. Oh, that's really bad.
This is gonna burn like a full minute off the clock, especially if they can find another pick here. But it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake from Team 4+1. You know, to have your Sigma pushing up that aggressively without the Baptiste support.
Yeah, maybe a miscommunication there. Maybe he just thought he was gonna get healed, but he just kind of stayed up there.
And now, Dragon Blade is online for Samurage. Going to be chasing after Drawdle with it. Immortality Field comes out, but there's so much space being made. Samurage does fall down, but Drawdle gets traded out in response. Phantoms is in a very strong position. That rock, Mark Killer falling down low. Team Cool Cats, they're really stabilizing on this third point.
Yeah, but so are Team 4+1. Flux comes out.
Oh, and that's a huge Flux. No Beat able to respond. So Celso and Drac both fall down. Phantoms comes out with another big Flux, but the Immortality Field is there, and it's Samurage who goes down. Watermelon looking to seal this fight with the artillery to cut off Caprixel from escape. She will, yes, eventually get cleaned up. Phantom's already falling. Drac staggering out. Because now Team Cool Cats are going to have to look to mount one last fight in defense with 2.5 minutes left on the third 20 Kings Row.
But the defense has been pretty good so far. They had to push pretty much for all the way from the beginning. So now they can get this comfortable retouch.
Beat comes out a bit early, but still able to find the value. Watermelon falls very low. Immortality Field forced out. Phantoms with the Eve going to be generating lots and lots and lots of overhealth. Celso forced back a little bit, but they're able to kite out the window pretty safely. The overclock comes out, and Watermelon and Drawdle both down. The overclock gonna find Mark Killer eventually. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice fight.
Yeah. Not too many ults on either side. Bendy does have a beat. Probably gonna save it for the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, and you don't have the Nano online for Samurage either, so he's gonna have a hard time, especially blading into like Lucio Bastion. Might
Yeah,
not
they're
even
gonna.
need the beat.
Oh, and he falls yet again. Throttle is still a menace in this lobby. A big anti though on the BAP and the Bastion.
The Immortality Field stays up for so long. Watermelon not able to be picked up by Celisao. Instead, it's Drawdle who takes down Drac. Phantoms gets cut off and falls in that room. Has the Flux, but no opportunity to use it. Samurai now desperately trying to contest point. Falls at 95% to that Dragon Blade. Beat comes out from Bendy. As Team 4+1 do secure the map 1 minute and 21. Not at all a bad attack, but, you know, it's a far shot from the 5.5 minutes they had going into point 3.
Still, I think you take that. You have time on the clock. You have over a minute, so as long as you can defend until overtime, you're gonna win this map, or at least draw it. Drawdle though, he's been having one hell of a game. He is finding these picks left, right, and center. He is just a freak right now.
Yeah, just really, really strong on the Widowmaker. I think Nepal, it's a tough map for the Widow. And so, you know, we saw 4+1 struggle there, but I think this is going to be their real recipe to success, you know, going through this series is how much can they put themselves on these comfort picks. You know, I think it's fair to say the DPS line of Team Cool Cats is a bit more flexible. You know, Celisao in particular, able to play those characters like, you know, the Tracer and the Mei, Samurott on the Genji, more comfortable on those sort of flex DPS picks. But these hitscan players for 4+1, if the map is right, if the comp is right, if they have the opportunity to really flex their skills, we've seen what they can do.
Yeah, but you mentioned Drawdle's Widow, but even on the Sojourn, he was finding lots of picks, especially first picks. I think he's just as deadly on the Sojourn, and Sojourn fits into a lot more comp. So if Drawdle can just keep putting a performance like this, Team Cool Cat's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Cats now.
Opting for the Echo?
Echo with Bap Lucio, that is interesting. Celisao's gonna struggle, I think, to find too much support, in particular, too much healing from those supports, but I suppose gonna be able to put lots and lots of pressure on Watermelon. Drawdle, though, is the one who's gonna be able to pick off the Pixel. Phantoms now with no Baptiste healing, gonna fall down. I think Cool Cats might need to rethink this composition, because that is a quick, clean fight win for Team 4+1.
Cool Cats need to find a way to deal with this Widow. If you let Drawdle live, he will find your head eventually. I don't think the Echo is going to be it. I think the Echo has to go on some crazy flank, some crazy rotation. That's going to take way too long. And by the time the Echo can get on top of the Drawdle's already killed one.
Drawdle rotating out now. Celisao already low health, not able to find healing from the Bap Lucio. Not a very synergistic composition, but it looks like Team Cool Cats are going to be trying to rotate through this high ground overlooking the point. Setting up to really heavily pressure Drawdle.
Oh, Drac finds Drawdle. That's their ticket.
Now it's go time. They need to push. They have Samrush on the off angle. They flip the map. Watermelon falls dangerously low. Does indeed get picked up. Phantoms is in a bit of trouble, but not nearly as much trouble as Team 4+1. Defratel and Samrush trading out. Celisao free firing on the Echo. Going to be able to find two.
Yeah,
it's not quite as quick of a first point capture as Team 4+1 had, but it is a very promising start for Team Cats. They're going to need to keep this up.
Yeah, once the Drawdle falls, once there's no more Widow, what do you really have to keep this Echo in check? Not much. The Bastion kind of a sitting duck to the sticky bombs, and the Bab. It's also you can't really do much against the Echo if the Sigma's in your face. So if Drawdle lives, they'll Team 4+1 are going to be a lot stronger. But if he dies, it could spell disaster.
Now it's the window coming out, but Drawdle falling under very heavy pressure from Celisao gets picked off. It's a beautiful flank. The beat comes out, enabling Celisao to play very aggressive. Recognizing the beat, though, Phantoms is going to come out with the Flux, not finding anything. Just the copy from Celisao. But now the Echo once again has free range, gonna take down Watermelon, gonna take down Mark Killer. Unless Bendy stops it. Bendy does manage to find the pick on a Celisao, but to no avail. Team Cool Cat's looking very, very strong, only needing 2 ults.
Yeah, and now it's already gonna be pretty much this last fight for this point. It looks like with 3 ultimates, they've got it. Celesao is moving over to the Genji. Looks like, without the, I guess I'm not actually sure why he's back on the Genji. I think the Genji hasn't been working so far. This is a very big flux. Able to draw out the beat, but Watermelon finds Cabrixel.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice artillery strike to find the Baptiste. Phantoms and Celesao doing the best they can, but not quite going to be enough. Team 4+1 do manage to stabilize, and they've completely shifted up their composition with the Soldier and the Junker Queen. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Soldier. I think I think the Junker actually works pretty well here. There's not a lot of. It's not a very open map. You can just shoot down the corridor.
But with Soldier Bastion?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Soldier specifically. Soldier wants to play very flanky, but I'm not so sure if you can do that on this map. Maybe Soldier can find off angle here, but I think Saber gets caught out though. It doesn't matter what Soldier does.
Like, speaking of flanks, Samrouge takes a bad one there, pays for it with his life to Mark Killer. As now Team Coolcats, they're on their own. They only have 2 minutes left, and they need to finish the map with time if they have a chance of winning.
This is actually looking pretty dangerous. If they don't cap this point soon, they're going to cap in overtime. Mark Killer is very deep, but they can't really finish that pick off.
Yeah, 4+1, I think they recognize their win conditions here. They're really trying to just bleed that time bank, push for any staggers, as much space as they can get over Team Coolcats. Mark Killer now, huge rampage, finds 4. Immortality Field comes out, but it's not going to last long. The Flux from Phantoms, not able to find anything, and Celesao falls! Drawing the blade, Samrouge pulls out the overclock, but Watermelon's going to clean that up as well. Team 4+1.
Yeah,
that's an expensive fight for Coolcats.
Also pretty expensive for 4+1. They use the rampage, they use the beat, but they're coming up on a visor and soon a artillery strike. But is that gonna be enough? I'm not entirely sure. They're not particularly big game-winning ultimates, and Team Coolcats have both support ults coming up. I think a beat could probably negate both of those ultimates.
We have to really see how much Mark Killer can get done on the Junker Queen. There must have been a reason for this swap. Drawdle pulls out the visor, but it's going to be mostly for zoning, just to deny that amplification matrix of Caprixel and Drac now free to rush in with the sound barrier. Indeed, it does come out. Watermelon falling under some pressure. Samrouge sliding in aggressively on the Sojourn. Bastion turret form not able to find anything.
What is Bendy doing?
Is behind enemy lines. Now the artillery does come out. It's going to force Phantom to live with the Immortality Field from Caprixel. Is there... The window comes out from Defratel. Watermelon looking to lay down damage, but as a Junker Queen in their face, Samrouge gonna find the elimination, and it looks like Team Coolcats have a real fighting chance here. Mark Killer gonna go down. Team Coolcats, they still have a chance, but it's gonna be tough. As 4+1, they're doing everything in their power to stagger this out. They really know that they don't need to stop the cap, they just need to stop the cap with time. And the amount of time they have is 1.5 minutes.
With Drawdle, he's pulling out the Widow again, and on this part of the map, all he has to do is just sit far back. He's gonna find these headshots eventually. And what can Team Coolcats do? Maybe the Genji can make his way to the Widow, but that's gonna be pretty tough on a map or on such an open map for this third point.
Especially with no Brig, no Kiriko, no support that can really play super aggro with the Genji, except maybe the Lucio. It's Phantoms who goes in first now, though, with the Rampage, finding 4 again. Bendy gets picked up by Celesao, who's also going to finish off Drawdle. Team Coolcats, they have a serious chance. 4+1, they do have the Rampage nearly the beat from Bendy. They do have a chance to stop this cap, but it's going to be close. Phantoms is looking to spawn hold.
Team Coolcats, so they're coming out with 4 ultimates. Waterman's already down.
There's the overclock from Samrouge, who's free firing from this high ground. Celesao, the Dragon Blade. Phantoms goes down, but at this point, it's maybe not even going to matter. Amplification Matrix also Defratel with a Sojourn in their face. Mark Killer 57 finally goes down. The Bastion of Watermelon is back, but with only the Bastion Lucio left. And Drac is disconnected apparently, but it might not even matter.
Actually, with the Kiriko and the Reaper, this might be winnable for Team 4+1. Even if they can stall this out still.
Wait, Caprixel goes down. Phantoms is still up though. Mark Killer doesn't get the beat in time. It's just Phantoms against 3 of Team 4+1.
Okay.
But there was a disconnection there. Drac, the Lucio for Team Cool Cats, did get DC'd sort of going into that last fight. As we see the pause come out, I'm not sure exactly what to make of this.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Drac doesn't DC there, they probably still have this. You know, they look Team Cool Cats looked like such they had such a strong position on point, and you know it looked like 4+1 were just grasping for, at straws. They're just like not they just didn't have much, but then eventually they just kept staggering onto point, and they couldn't finish it off quickly enough.
It's hard to say for sure, but we'll have to see how this exactly gets adjudicated. I'm not too familiar with what exactly the rules are in the situation, whether it means the map would have to be replayed or what. But if this stands, then even if Phantom somehow manages to clutch out here, um, that's even if Team Cool Cats managed to capture the point in overtime, the best they can play for now is a draw. As we'll have to, I suppose, wait and see exactly what the decision is going to be that's made.
Yeah, yeah, it does from this position. It doesn't really seem like Team Cool Cats can even win this map. Or it looks like they're about to lose this. It's just Phantoms, but Drac did DC for quite a while, so potential map restart, maybe. It's a very awkward situation to be in. Looks like we're
It's tough
still figuring
because
it out.
especially like with the if you have Lucio in that last fight, we saw Crixel get picked off sort of early in that last overtime fight. With Lucio to support the Baptiste or with the maybe to help the Genji and the Drunken Queen sort of close a bit faster onto targets and clean up those eliminations. These overtime fights get so scrappy. One player can make a world of difference. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's really very hard to say. I'm not sure.
mm, and it's still not back. Um,
Yeah, you have to be wondering what happened if it was like some sort of you know it might even be a power outage. Hard to say really. Um, but yeah, oh, that has gotta hurt for Team Cool Cats though. You know,
yeah, that they look like they were about to cap with time left, so they could have won this map, but you know, it's just devastating. It's very unfortunate for Team Cool Cats. It was a winning fight, and n now they may not even cap this 3rd point.
yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute nail biter of a map though, that's for sure. Whichever way this gets resolved, I mean, I think we've seen some excellent looks from both these teams as we uh, wait to hear the exact situation on the side of track with that disconnection. We are going to go to a short break. We'll be right back. And we're back. It looks like the technical difficulties are being resolved as we head back in to Kings Row as we have Team Cool Cats trying really desperately to clutch out at the very end of the map in an overtime push, looking to perhaps secure a draw after the really strong attack of Team 4+1. It's just Phantoms left. Rampage comes out but falls in the middle of the cast time. Samrouge tries to make it to the point but is going to fall, and it is going to be Kings Row going the way of Team 4+1 after a valiant attempt to bring it back by Team Cool Cats. The offense, that first attack by Team 4+1 just too strong.
Yeah, they got they got to third point with like over 5 minutes, and they're still able to get time on the board. So even if Team Cool Cats are able to cap, they wouldn't even been able to win.
They had the chance for a draw, but just barely slips out of their fingers. And that one's got a sting for Team Cool Cats, but at least I think they're starting to find their footing. I think Throttle on the Widowmaker really, that combination of the Widowmaker and the Bastion, right, where Mark Killer really wants to be on the Winston trying to prevent Throttle from taking space, but then Watermelon on the Bastion really shutting it down. I think, yeah, it's tricky to deal with. I think if you're Team Cool Cats, you're going to be trying to figure out, as we go into Flashpoint, what exactly your answer to that is. That's a Flashpoint, much less of a Widowmaker map. So what do you think we're going to be seeing out of both of these teams?
Yeah, I think they're gonna probably stick to the Junker Queen. Looks like they look pretty uh comfortable on the Junker Queen comms. And I think what I expect from 4+1 is that they're gonna probably play like Junker Queen Bastion map, play like a little more brawly Junker Queen comp where
Yeah.
they you kind of just like get in there, do lots of damage, but like not don't play very fast. I think Team Cool Cats, they want to lean towards like the Genji Sojourn
Yeah.
with like maybe a Kiriko, and I think they're just gonna play much faster, but they're not gonna have quite that burst damage that
Then
Team
you
Cool
do
Cats
you do
have.
sort of have to wonder, like, if yeah, if Team Cool Cats, they're able to run picks like the Genji, the Mei, if it's a Junker Queen mirror or a Sigma mirror, that feels like a pretty strong advantage for them, right? Whereas something like a Sojourn Bastion, I think it just sort of almost loses in the mirror in these like tight, close in spaces that you tend to get on Flashpoint maps. If you compare it to something like Genji Bastion or Genji Sojourn or a Mei Sojourn, something like that. Just those flexi base picks that are so strong in these close in spaces. We saw it on Nepal. You have to wonder if we're just going to see a repeat of that on Nepal.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I What I'm gonna guess though is that Cool Cats don't want to play the Winston again. They're just gonna expect the Bastion at this point. And
Yeah, I think Markula really wants to, and did find like some great results with Winston on Nepal Sanctum, but I think at this point, partly the map, Kings were a bit more favorable. Partly, I think 4+1 sort of getting a bit more into the flow of things with running their composition around that bastion, really doing a lot to yeah, just deny the value that Phantoms was looking to take. But I think we're expecting to see sort of, yeah, probably like rush mirrors with, things like Junker Queen, things like, the Sigma, these sorts of um, very mechanical tanks. Because both of these tank players, I think, have shown not just flexibility, but a really, really strong level of mechanical prowess on those sort of off-tank type characters.
Yeah, for sure. I yeah, I don't think Mark is gonna be pulling out the Winston anytime soon. But
Yeah, that's
honestly though, against what Team Cool Cats are playing, I think Winston might work out pretty well. They're playing Genji Sojourn a lot. Not a lot of like Bastion. I think Team 4+1, uh, they wanna they're more open to playing the let's say dishonorable DPS.
Yeah, I mean the Bastion. It is sort of interesting that the Bastion has been falling a bit out of favor lately, especially with those nerfs to his how often he can have his turret form up. But we've seen a lot of players start really figuring out how to use the Sojourn to shut down Bastion comps with a fair bit of success. And as we're heading into Suravasa, I think Bastion is a bit more of an open map. I think Bastion can be quite tough to run.
Yeah, I think some teams have made it work in the past, but yeah, if Team Cool Cats could just like very fast, play very loose, and just get all over Team 4+1, Bastion might just get run over.
So you have to wonder then what's the game plan? 4+1 so far the big defining factor of their style has been how hard they lean into these hitscan characters. So we have to wonder, if they're going to try and force the Bastion here, or if not, what's their answer going to be to just these like really strong anti-Bastion styles that I think Cool Cats are almost certainly going to be looking to run on Suravasa here.
Yeah, I fully expect Grotto will be rolling out on the Sojourn. I doubt they're gonna pick Widow. The Widow is just not gonna be able to find as much value on these maps.
We might see a Soldier 76 though. I think Soldier on Flashpoint can be very strong. Just going on heavy flanks all the time. Of course, it does mean that you have one less player in the core of your team. You do sort of lose in a head-to-head brawl, but if you're able to sort of take enough angles, the Soldier can find really, really heavy pressure on those flanks. It does look like Drawdle is going to be on the Soldier, but the rest of his team going to be still on the Bastion Lucio. So this is interesting. I think traditionally with the Soldier, you see something like a Kiriko or an Yari.
Yeah. One interesting to note though is Salasso on the Tracer instead of the Genji, and I think this is gonna prove very difficult for Drawdle to deal with. Now you have instead of having to fight a Genji, the Tracer's gonna be on these flanks as well, and maybe Drawdle's not gonna find those angles when the Tracer's in your face. We have to see how this plays out. Who's gonna win that duel on the flank?
I think the flank fights are going to prove critical, but right now it's the head-to-head. Phantom's falling very low to Watermelon, but Watermelon taking lots of damage in return. Immortality Field already forced out of Defratel. Celisao is in the mix, finds Watermelon, nearly finds Defratel. Drawdle gets picked up by Drac. Defratel still 1 health. The supports of Team 4+1 are in critical condition as they back out, and first cap goes convincingly the way of Cool Cats.
Oh, but Sasso falls. Maybe this is turnable. They have the Team 4+1 have most of them there except for Defratel. He's dead. So Mark Killer's next. Yeah, this is solidly in Team Cool Cat's favor right now.
You can see the idea there for 4+1. They get into that low sort of space. There's a slight overextension from Cool Cats, and they're able to find the pick on a Celisao, nearly on a Phantoms. But I do think it's just a bit too greedy of a play, and it does mean that they wind up staggering themselves out. Almost 60% on the board on this first flashpoint for Team Cool Cats. Celisao marking the flank for the Bastion. And Team 4+1, they're going to have a hard time finding an engagement. They're already taking so much damage. And the Pulse Stone comes out, forces out the Immortality Field. Watermelon forced to use the turret form, but to really very little value, but the window comes out.
He loses the Rampage too. This is very deadly. But oh, Mark Killer falls so low. If he can kill them, this could be winnable.
Team Cool Cats are looking to fight this. The beat comes out from Drac. Watermelon gets picked up by Caprixel. Samurish does have the overclock online. He's going to need to find something with it soon. Does pop it. Kitsune Rush also out for Cool Cats. Some nice shots from Samurish. Does fall, but not before the damage is done. Mark Killer and Defratel, the only ones alive for Team 4+1. We're going to have to see if they can clutch it out. But these supports for Team Cool Cats so survivable. I don't know if they've died once. And that is going to be first flashpoint going the way of Team Cool Cats. That is a scrappy fight.
Wow, Phantoms falls real fast, loses his rampage, and yet Team Cool Cats are still able to pull it through. You know, from the heroics of Salasso, Samrouge, Capri, like all of them, they just found picks when it seemed impossible.
We're seeing here a lot of the weakness of the Bastion, right? Of how much pressure gets put on the Watermelon. Even if they don't get picks, you know, the amount of peel that needs to come out to keep that Bastion alive is staggering.
Yeah, we also see Tracer just working so well, just like, you know, being a nuisance, just putting out damage and then getting out as quickly as Salasso went in. We see a Zarya coming out here. Not sure what this is trying to accomplish.
In hand finds another stick, forces out the Immortality Field and the bubble. Phantom's engaging heavily, nearly falls, but the cleanse of Crystal is there. Phantom does fall though. That is so much damage onto the Junker Queen. Team Cool Cat's just really pushing so hard to try and clean up the Bastion, but in that tiny room with the Bastion Zarya, you have to wonder about that decision.
Yeah, Salasso just went in there fast and loose, did not, when they were like 50 HP. I think the Zarya switch, though, is probably just to keep Waterman alive.
Yeah, they're really putting all their eggs in this Bastion basket.
Yeah, if Waterman stays alive, the longer Waterman lives, the more values he's gonna get.
And it is an unconventional composition, you know, the like Cassidy Bastion, but I think it really does lean into the strengths of these TBS players. We're seeing already it gets some value. Another amplification matrix online for Team 4+1. This time, Phantom's narrowly going to be able to survive, but it's so much space on point for 4+1. The Kitsune Rush comes out. 14 Cool Cats artillery in response lays down so much damage though. Drac falls. Mark Killer walking in now, high charge, takes down Celisao. Another artillery form is online for Watermelon, who's going to be looking to beam down Phantoms, takes down Caprixel with the nade and the follow-up damage from Mark Killer. And that is going to be the second flashpoint going the way of Team 4+1, and it's going to be Samrouge going the way of a hole off the map.
Yeah, it does seem like, you know, Phantom's having such a hard time getting in. He walks 5 feet and takes 500 damage. How are you gonna, you know, attack the Bastion, especially when by the time you get to the Bastion, he's got a bubble. He's still gonna live. This is a very, you know, difficult comp for them to really play into. They need to find some way to rotate around cover and get into the backline. And these sticks.
Mortality Field from Drawdle. So there's Mortality Field and a Zarya bubble out onto Drawdle. Grab comes out from Mark Killer, but, you know, low charge, not able to find an elimination before Drac answers with the beat. And now a beat comes out from Bendy. Rampage in response from Phantoms. Ults flying left and right. Caprixel, first one to fall. Samrouge as well. Bendy finds two. Defratel gets traded out. So does Watermelon. Phantoms showing up big in this fight, even down the Kiriko. Really, still anyone's fight, but it is going to be Team 4+1 taking the first cap.
Yeah, but it seems like they're getting forced out. Team 4+1 can't stay on this point. The Queen is just doing too much damage. It's a lot more survivable than the Zarya. Drawdle eventually falls down. Yeah, Salasso is just running around uncontested. If Salasso can, you know, just be uncontested, he's gonna find picks. This fight is still going on. People are still fighting.
You have to wonder, because the main sort of healers, you know, the Baptiste and the Kiriko go down very early in the fight. And so 4+1, you know, they find the first capture, but, you know, in that drawn-out fight, the Junker Queen just has so much more self-sustain than the Zarya. You have to wonder about some of the, like, macro decisions from 4+1. You know, they let the cap go, and then they're still fighting. Now, we see them making some swaps onto Reaper Soldier, so they're trying to play, like, very, very survivable Reaper. Same with the Zarya, I think. We're gonna have to see how much they can get done with that, as they are pushing heavily onto Phantoms. Team Cool Cats trying to back to point, but Celisao not quite able to back fast enough, gets picked up by Defratel. Team Cool Cats down one. Samrouge does have Overclock in hand, perhaps gonna look to find something with it, but Phantoms is in hot water, taking so much damage. Beat comes out from Drac. That's 3 ults from Cool Cats. Beat in response for 4+1. Rampage comes out from Phantoms, finds 2. Watermelon falls. Defratel forced to use the Immortality Field. is also going to fall to Drac and Phantoms anytime now. The Prixel does get picked up by Drawdle, but it's going to be too little too late. As third flashpoint going the way of Team Cool Cats, and this is a nail biter of a flashpoint map.
Toronto goes over to the Torbjorn. I think he's just grasping for straws right now. Where, like, I don't think Torb is the answer. Maybe he'll contest the Tracer more, but I just don't think it can provide as much pressure.
You have to wonder, like, the Reaper's Aria sort of makes sense, but then who is it exactly that you're going to be running onto? You have to, you know, if you're 4+1, you really need to figure out which of these characters on the side of Team Cool Cats is going to be your target. Right now, it's Drac who gets caught in the Gravitic Flux. Phantom's falling soon after, and that is a clean fight win off of the back of that Gravitic Flux. Or not Gravitic Flux, Graviton Surge.
Yeah, but without that big ultimate, what now? How are you going to win this fight? You don't really have that much, without the Bastion, you don't have that much damage to stop this Queen just running at you. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do this.
We've seen Phantoms take huge damage through these amplification matrices, but a lot of that damage was coming out of Watermelon, who is now on the Soldier 76, close on a visor, doesn't quite have it yet. Celisel looking for an angle, not covered by that Torbjorn turret. It has perhaps found it, Pulse Bomb in hand, going to be pushed out, but already, you know, so much space just being made by the pressure of that Tracer. The turret of Drawdle goes down, and now Celisel is free to fire on Mark Killer. The window comes out, but they're able to kite away onto point. This is just ults flying left and right. Watermelon does find Drac with the tactical visor. Celisel lays down the pulse bomb, picks up Drawdle somehow. But in the end, you know, it's a scrappy fight. Just blow after blow being traded, but it is going to be Team 4+1 coming out on top.
Yeah, it looks like, I guess the Torb ended up working. I think Team Cool Cats, they took point. They were gonna take point. You know why? I feel like if you push into the Torbjorn, push into the Zarya, you're at a disadvantage. They should just, you know, kept staying point, just kept like cap that point, hold that position for a little bit. We see Celasio move over to the Mei, probably to, you know, isolate someone, probably the Zarya, and Zarya with that once her bubbles are gone, and those can be broken very easily. She's gonna be sitting duck.
Yeah, it's just been counterpick after counterpick this map, and it leaves sort of both comps playing these sort of weird compositions that are, you know, as much trying to do something as they are trying to deny something else from the enemy team. Speaking of denials, it's the Beat coming out to try and stop the rampage of Phantoms, but it's too late to prevent Drawdle from going down. Prixel does die to the molten core of Drawdle, but both Lucios actually fall quite low, and it's Watermelon, soon to be Bendy, or I suppose not Bendy. Okay, eventually Bendy. Falling on the side of 4+1 is Cool Cats, taking the fifth and last flashpoint. 4+1, okay, they're swapping Drawdle onto the Sojourn. And this allocation is going to have to pay off. Mark Killer has grab in hand.
Yeah, but that track has B. That, you know, that Graviton Surge may not find what they need.
On Celiso's already so close on the Blizzard. Grab comes out, but the Beat is there in response just in time to keep the DPS of Team Cool Cats alive. The window comes out, but it's not really able to find much. Team Cool Cats able to disengage from it safely. And Team 4+1, they have to make something happen now.
Now they have to push into a Blizzard. This is disastrous. Mark Killer falls. You know, now Team 4+1, they have 3 people all on one angle, and they just can't do anything from that angle when everyone's behind cover. That's it. That's the map.
Yeah, they're swapping over to the Winston and the Lucio to try and touch last minute, but it's not going to be enough. Flashpoint goes the way of Cool Cats. They go up 2-1 to match points in this intramural final.
Wow, what a close map.
And yeah, I mean, Cool Cats, that's an incredible performance, and that is going to put them one map away potentially from actually winning, you know, the grand prize, standing at the top of the entire, you know, University of Toronto Overwatch community. And of course, you know, to the winner goes the prize. Whichever team takes this series is going to be awarded 5 gaming chairs, I'd like to remind the audience, which have been generously provided by Monster Energy to the University of Toronto. Which, you know, I'm sure everyone in the Dog Division of course, looking for the honor, looking for the glory, looking for the pride, and also looking for the gaming chairs, which is a nice little extra something on top of bragging rights. I should think. Um, Map
Yeah.
4 is going to be pushed, and it is 4+1's pick. And we've seen, they have sort of some limitations in their hero pool, but of course some very strong players on their team. What do you expect they're going to be picking for this fourth map?
On push, I think I'm gonna go maybe Colosseo. I think Colosseo's a pretty good Sigma map. If they can just play the Widow again, I think Colosseo can benefit Widow quite a bit. Um, when you have those really long sight lines. But I do think that their limitations in hero pool are really binding them right now. I think when Drado was like swapping over like to whatever he could to make it work, he probably could have gone the Genji. With the Zarya, the Genji could be pretty strong there. But if they don't have a Genji player, it's not gonna work out. I think maybe now though, on Colosseo, the Widow might just be able to click heads all over, and Cool Cats might not have an answer, but we'll have to see. I think their Cool Cats are probably gonna. Oh,
Yeah, they're picking. Okay, this just in. Breaking news here. Team 4+1 for their map pick, as they are one map away from elimination in this final series. They're choosing Esperanza.
yeah.
I don't know what to make of this.
I'm not
I
so
mean,
sure. I think Esperanza is like the dive map for push,
yeah,
and I think this is the worst map for Widow. So I'm not entirely sure what they want to do here. Maybe lean heavily onto Bastion again, but I don't think it's gonna work as
yeah,
well.
man, I think we've seen Phantoms on the Junker Queen, Samrouge on the Sojourn, Celisao on the Mei, on the Tracer. I think Cool Cats, they struggle dealing with the Bastion a bit, in on Kings, but I think firstly, Cool Cats have just adapted to it. I think they've figured out how to deal with the Bastion by now, and they're going to be expecting it, or at least expecting the chance of it. But also, it's Esperanza. It's such a wide open map. It's nothing like Kings. It's much less favorable for the Bastion style. You really have to wonder what exactly they were thinking choosing this map. It might come back to bite them, but we'll have to see what exactly they're running. It does look like they are going to be going out with the Bastion. Something perhaps like
It looks like
Bastion towards Sigma.
it looks
Okay.
like they're trying to do like the Sigma rush with the Bastion,
Sort of
but
like a
I'm,
bunker rush, counter dive.
I don't think it's gonna work though. I'm not so sure. The map is just so open, and then if you let Sam Rouge on the Sojourn get an off angle, what are you gonna do? Like Sam Rouge is just pretty much untouchable with this comp. And same with I guess Celasso is gonna have to deal with the Torb turret,
Yeah,
but
I mean, this
that's
comp
not
has the
that
torp
big of a
turret,
deal.
but Sojourn can deal with the turrets pretty well. And besides the turret, they have really no way of controlling space from this Sojourn, from this Tracer, who are going to be free to lay damage into the Bastion. We're going to have to see how much of that translates into practice, though. Celisao already setting up on an aggressive angle, getting pressured up by Defratel, keeping Watermelon alive. Mark Killer falls a bit low. Watermelon comes out with the turret form, not able to find too much, though. Phantom's now engaging aggressively with the shout, falling very, very, very low. Watermelon also going low. Nobody on either team going down just yet.
Yeah, I don't
Chickens
think we're
and
gonna
goats.
find a pick soon. We're not gonna find a pick pretty soon. Once Bastion form goes down, that's pretty much all the damage gone from Team 4+1. But Phantom's getting so low, ends up dying. No way
Yeah,
to help him there.
Phantoms goes in aggressive, towards the tail end of that Bastion form, but perhaps a little bit too early, takes a little bit too much damage. Instead, though, the lamp is out for Defratel. These DPS of Team Cool Cats can show up big, and Drac already with the beat. That said, Mark Killer already with the flux. So many ults flying. Neither team has yet to push the bot even a single meter, but it does look like that first little bit of push is going to be going over to Team 4+1.
Yeah, I guess their very bunkery kind of comp paid off. If you let this comp just sit there and deal damage, it's going to find value eventually. Team Cool Cats with their Tracer and the Sojourn, they need to play very fast. They need to find picks fast. They're just not going to win that poke war and that sustain war, especially with the Kiriko versus the BAP. Ooh, Waterman gets hooked off. That high ground position is no longer available to them.
Oh, that's a big pull, actually. Caprixel looking to capitalize on it with the Kitsune Rush coming out. Celizao goes down, but traded out for Watermelon. I think you take that. Caprixel does get pressured by the Molten Core of Drawdle, which is going to deny a lot of space from that Kitsune Rush. Drawdle falling down onto the low ground, though, now. And Cool Cats are set up in a strong position. 4+1 are split. Caprixel is going to go down, but Defratel looking to get traded out. Phantom's trying to make it happen. Does eventually. It's a crap fight. 4+1, though, somehow do manage to just barely take it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to cap checkpoint here. That's going to be very bad. Team Cool Cats, they have 2 ultimates coming up here. They have Rampage and they have Overclock. But it's not going to be enough. Bendy has his beat, so that could just negate at least one of them. And the other one's not guaranteed to get value. It's actually looking pretty bad. I guess this Esperanza's pick paying off dividends. I was not expecting this Tor Bastion combo to work so well.
They are really, I guess, just like leveraging, you know, the Bastion to prevent the Winston from coming out. They're leveraging the high grounds with the Bastion and the Torbjorn. Stigma, of course, very strong at anchoring point. And Watermelon just raining down damage. Team Cool Cats having a hard time putting it into practice to actually contest. That said, though, Samrouge finds the pick on a Defratel. 2 ults come out for the side of 4+1, but no kills to be found. Watermelon finds 2, but will it be enough? It's just the DPS alive for Team 4+1. Watermelon comes up with a fight.
That is disastrous because Watermelon probably loses. He's going to back out, but that just means the rest of Cool Cats, the ones who got killed, they have to come back. That's going to take time. That's going to prevent Team Cool Cats from getting as much push. Watermelon's already pushing up.
4+1 got forward spawn. They already have contest back. You needed that to be a clean fight if you're Cool Cats, and now they're able to recontest, but it's an equal fight on equal footing. Ultimates coming out left, right, and center. The freeze is huge from Celizao, though. Beat comes out from Bendy, and it does look like Team Cool Cats do have the upper hand. Everyone is low on the side of Team 4+1, and the Rampage gets committed by Phantoms. Watermelon falls, Mark Killer falls, and Cool Cats are going to take this, but that's an expensive fight to have to take.
Phantom dies here too. That's bad because now they can't finish off these kills as well. Okay, it looks like they are going to end up getting these kills, but Samrouge dies here. That's pretty bad too. Needs to live. He doesn't.
This is just doing so much work on the Baptiste. So hard to kill with that movement and just like pumping out so much damage.
Yeah, it's already 5 minutes. They've only pushed it, or Team Cool Cats only pushed it 30 meters. They're already back. 4+1's already fast. I don't think Phantoms is back though. They're not gonna. That's all progress they're gonna get.
They do have the high ground position. They can hold this. They have ults online. Samrouge is really gonna need to come up big with the overclock, and he's not quite back yet. Team 4+1 looking to try and take advantage of that, take control of the block. Drawdle setting up onto the high ground as they're pushing in. Caprixel answers with the Kitsune Rush straight into the face of Watermelon. The Bastion goes down, the Immortality Field goes down, and a nice headshot onto Defratel ensures that the Baptiste goes down, but the whole time they stole a card.
That is horrible. It seems like every time Cool Cats win a fight, they just can't get any progress.
It's just those little macro bits, and now, I mean, they do stagger out Mark Killer and Bendy, so they're going to be able to get a bit more push, but, if they hadn't, oh my.
Yeah.
If 4+1 don't steal a card there, then, you know, Cool Cats would already have checkpoint by now. They would be, you know, in a position to take the lead. Instead, they're going to have to win another fight just to get the checkpoint.
One important thing to note, though, is that Bendy and Mark Killer could not get the forward spawn, so they had to walk all the way back. That means they couldn't get that really fast recontest. So Phantoms, or rather Cool Cats, do have that position, but Caprixel dies again.
Also the Immortality Field. The Blizzard comes out, but it's not going to find much. Beat comes out as well. So does the Overclock. Drawdle goes down, but it might be too little too late. There's already 3 players lost on the side of Cool Cats. Mark Killer falls dangerously low, but it's only Samrouge left. And you have to wonder the decision to keep investing in those ults even after 4+1 finds so many early picks in that fight.
Yeah, it seems like the Cool Cats just don't have ults to really win the next fight. And I mean, I guess they made a little bit of progress, but only 10 meters, not even that close to the check force spawn. Now 4+1 are going to be making progress. This is not a good position for Cool Cats to be in.
Phantoms needs to find some big value with this Rampage coming up, but it's hard to when so much of 4+1 is on the high ground. That said, though, going to find Drawdle with the while visoring with the Rampage, but the beat is there for Bendy, and that's going to be another clean fight win for 4+1. It is looking harder and harder for Team Cool Cats to get their to get themselves back into this push map, and it's looking more and more likely the 4+1 are going to even up this series.
Yeah, Bendy's beat, that was, got so much value. Anyone who got hit by the Rampage, immediately 1,000 health, so the entire ult was nullified, and that put Phantoms in a really bad position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea to try and shut down the visor, but just a really great beat in response by Bendy. And Watermelon, again, is showing up so big on the Bastion. The nade through window finds Samrouge. Team Cool Cats, they are floundering right now. It's getting close to 100 meters.
Yeah, it just seems like Cool Cats are just running at them, but in the process, someone dies. They really need to figure something out, just a way to like get to them, or maybe switch up the comps. There we go.
The Bastion Sigma, but it might be too little, too late. Samrouge goes over onto the Hanzo, which I honestly don't know about.
I don't like it. Like, maybe you're pretty much relying on random headshots. That is a large. Drac falls so low.
Does find Drawdle. Lux gets denied by the Immortality Field for Pixel. Drac does go down though, as does Celisao. Despite their best efforts, Cool Cats might still even lose this fight. Pixel gets picked up by Mark Killer.
Yeah,
but we're not just looking at, a win by percentage. For Team Protocol, we're maybe looking at even a full map completion.
Watermelon, that is a lot of damage gone. There goes Death Rotel. The rest of 4+1 need to get out. Mark Killer's just gonna look for fast death, all the way back to the spawn. But that is so much progress. For every 10 meters Cool Cats get, 4+1 get like 50.
Yeah, they need to push something like almost 80 meters even after they get checkpoint.
Yeah,
they have to win 3 fights in a row, I think.
Yeah, this is last fight territory. They lose one fight, it's over. But Cool Cats, they have 5 ultimates coming up. They can't lose anyone here though. If they get picked up, someone gets picked up first one more time, it's pretty much over. Oh, that is a very
the Blizzard is big. Bendy goes down. The Immortality Field will not be enough to sustain.
That is a
drops a beat.
Not very ideal. Now
that's a huge mistake.
Nothing for the Flux anymore. And
nothing for the Flux, nothing even for the artillery, which Watermelon we've seen has, done a great job using that Bastion ultimate to find huge value, picks onto Cool Cats time and again. That might be a mistake that costs in the series. Watermelon coming out with the artillery, gonna put it straight onto Phantoms, falling low, forced to use the hands, and the lamp was already forced out. Caprixel gets picked up by Watermelon. Flux from Markular finds nothing. Flux from Phantoms doesn't find eliminations as well, but Markular falls dangerously low, does go down. Team Cool Cats might still be in this. Drawdle looking for the flank.
Drac is dying. Look at Drawdle, he's on the flank. Oh, that's a very late stagger though. This might, I don't even know anymore. But the Kiriko for our Cool Cats still isn't back. Just got back. Now they're gonna have some healing. Bendy has this might just be a beat engage once their Sigma comes back.
Yeah, the beat from Bendy needs to be good. It needs to find value. They're looking to push in fast. Samrouge almost falls. There's the cleanse forced out of Caprixel. Bendy uses the beat. Nothing is dying. Samrouge is getting pushed into this room. Drawdle gets picked up, but Phantoms is going to go down, and it looks like Team 4+1 are going to be able to close this out after a close-fought push. Team Cool Cats make a valiant attempt.
Wait, what is going on? This is so scrappy.
Phantoms goes over to the ball. Drac coming close on a beat. Phantoms going over to the Doomfist now. 15 meters to go. Devratel coming back on the back cheese. Dragon Strike comes out, gonna to not. Dragon Strike! The Dragon Strike, when it comes out,
there's a beat coming out.
Gets pushed out. Stellan's back on the Tracer. I cannot believe my eyes. Devratel is going to perhaps fall to Samrouge, but his Drac goes down to Watermelon, who finds Phantoms as well. What is going on? 4+1. managed to clutch it out, but man, oh man, Cool Cats, give them a run for their money. Give my lungs and my heart a run for their money with an insane overtime push. And we're going to match point.
That was almost there. The Cool Cats were so close. I think if Sandwich kills that BAP, hits that one last shot, they can win this. But oh, that was too close. What a map.
Oh, that's such good play by Watermelon, just recognizing, in this real scrappy, overtime situation, there's not going to be the sort of coordinated offense potential online for the side of Team Cool Cats, to be able to really shut down the Bastion. And so we see Watermelon just taking advantage of that, showing up huge on the Bastion. We really questioned the Bastion pick on Esperanza, but I think 4+1, they're making it work.
Yeah, they just I guess. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought maybe Team Cool Cats they're gonna pull out something like maybe a Doom Dive, but they opted for the Queen. I'm not sure the Queen was the right answer because the Queen just took so much damage to get in, but they stuck with it. It almost worked. They almost had it, but the Team 4+1 they just had the better spawns. Wasn't enough.
Yeah, you really have to wonder, like, this next map, it's Cool Cats' pick. They're gonna have to try and, really find something that works for them, because I think at times it was close there, but you really, I think, you need to see the adaptations come out faster. You need to see them, you know, they sort of roll out on this like hybrid style of, the Tracer, Sojourn, Queen, which just doesn't quite work. 4+1 play a bit too well around the Bastion to make it work. And so, we see the swap over onto the May Sigma, but it's, perhaps a little bit too little too late, or, perhaps it'd be better to see Phantoms rolling out on the Doomfist and really committing heavily to that sort of Doomfist dive style that we've seen teams in the World Cup and in the Overwatch League finals, used to quite great effect against the Bastion. We're going to Shambali Monastery for our fifth and final map of the series.
I think this is gonna be a Sigma versus Sigma matchup. Maybe some Ramatra. I know he got buffed recently. I know
And he gets the lore buff
on
on the map as well.
Yeah.
He does 20% more damage on Shambali Monastery. That's actually a little known fact, because of, lore. He sort of is fighting more fiercely to protect his home, sort of a thing. That said, though,
I fully expect Sigma's coming out here. I don't think Cool Cats are going to pull out the Bastion, but they're going to play a little more pokey. They're probably going to play the May too. I think the May is a big part of what won them Nepal. So I want to see them play this May more.
I think Cool Cats probably are picking this this map because they really want to run the May, but it's tough. I think really might have liked to see them pick something a bit more like dive favored, because Bastion Sojourn on Shambali Monastery can be very hard to defeat, and I think you have to expect that's what 4+1 is going to be running.
Yeah, I think maybe if they went Gibraltar, Gibraltar might be too tough for Bastion to do. If you just go Doomfist, Tracer, Genji, you're just gonna run around them on the high grounds. It might not, they might not be able to. The Bastion might not get any kind of value. But we'll have to see how the Shambali pick works out. I think they're just gonna pretty much match them, except for maybe swap the Sojourn for a Bastion, or rather swap the Bastion for a May. But I think it's just gonna be a mirror matchup, basically.
It's going to be just, yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. At the end of the day, we've seen both teams, one favoring the Bastion, one favoring the May. We've seen them both find success on these picks. But at the end of the day, it's going to really come down to just who can make it work better, I think. It's been an absolute nail-biter of a series, both teams showing us excellent performances. And this final map is going to be the one to decide it all.
Yeah.
Who's going to take home the championship title? Who's going to take home, all of the glory, UofT, Overwatch, intramural community, and who, of course, is going to take home a wonderful gaming chair provided by Monster Energy. And it looks like composition is going to be much as we expect. Sigma Mirror, Bastion on one side, Mei on the other.
A little odd though. I think the Soldier and the Hanzo pick are a little odd. I thought Drado was gonna go to the Soldier and even maybe the Widow. And I really thought I'm not sure about this Hanzo pick from Sam Rouge either. We'll have to see how it works.
Yeah, sort of. I think the idea is the Hanzo sort of, can apply a bit more like pressure onto the Bastion. Maybe it's an issue of just like personal comfort, feeling a bit more comfortable on the Hanzo compared to on the Sojourn. I think it definitely can work. They both behave similarly, just you're playing mainly to shut down the Bastion, but yeah, a lot of this is just going to play on how these DPS picks work out, and especially how much Throttle can get done on the Soldier, on especially this first point. It has some nice long angles, but at the same time it has some nasty chokes as well that the Soldier might prove problematic.
Yeah, and I'm worried Cool Cats are just gonna run up on this high ground like they're doing right now. What is the Soldier gonna do? He can only pepper them from far away. You can't really fight. They can't fight them up here. They have them since Cool Cats has a Mei. They're just gonna be able to take space a lot more. Look how far back they push them.
Yeah, 4+1 giving up so much space, and Mark Killer now under heavy pressure. The wall comes out from Celisal, but it's down now. Cool Cats perhaps being caught out in the open, but I mean they have plenty of resources to deal with this Bastion form. The Immortality Field is forced to come out though for Pixel and Samrouge dangerously low. The rock from Mark Killer narrowly escapes, but it's a Drac diving in, going to secure the elimination onto Pixel. Mark Killer falls low as well. This is an interesting strategy from 4+1, sort of, give space, rebound, but it might be working. That's
a pretty big pick though, but it looks like everyone on Cool Cats is just falling over. They just took so much damage. Markio just stayed alive so long out in the open, and he was just able to make sure no one can get a full health. And that was spelled disaster.
This is one of the weaknesses I think of the Hanzo with the Mei Lucio comp, is that he wants to play pretty slow. But I think if you're playing slow, the Hanzo Soldier just get more value. Really, what you need to be doing with the Mei is finding ways to just rush on top of the enemy team. But the Hanzo can't get too much value in that situation. The rock comes out from Mark Killer onto Caprixel, and now we're gonna see ults coming out. The Amplification Matrix applies heavy pressure on the Mark Killer, who already has hands forced. Throttle falling very low at the hands of Samrouge. Drac finds the kill. Beats coming out on both sides. Mark Killer with the flux. Bendy narrowly manages to escape. There's the Immortality Field for the side of Cool Cats, and or for the side of 4+1. Another beat now for Bendy this time.
Oh, Phantom falls so low. He needs to live here. He needs to live here. He does. Mark Killer walks into the dragon. Ooh, I'm not so sure. Oh, gets two. I wasn't sure that was gonna be worth it.
There's no way.
Wait, 4+1 are gonna win this fight. It's just Phantoms and Celestial. Oh, okay, they're gonna get pushed, but with no support, no Hanzo, they might not be able to cap this.
Can Mark Killer find the touch in time? He's looking for it. He's pushing in. This Lucy was there with the speed. He does find the touch.
Oh, that is a good Blizzard, though. If they can get this pick onto Mark Killer, that might be all it, but he survives.
The Immortality Field is too good. Immortality Field comes out from Caprixel as well to save Phantoms. Throttle is free-firing from the high ground. Nothing is dying, but it's Team 4+1 who are able to stall this out. Celestial split off alone, isolated Drac in dangerous territory as well. Samrouge not quite able to find the shot. It's Bendy managing to go down to Phantoms. The win up's now from Defertel, but immediately going to be denied by Phantoms. Mark Killer falling dangerously low. Samrouge gets picked up by Throttle. It's really just pick after pick after pick. It's an absolutely scrappy fight, but in the end, 4+1 are going to manage to hold. That's unbelievable.
Oh, and they don't even have a good touch left. They need to get back fast. 20 seconds left. This is not going to be...
Drac needs to find the touch, but they're all the one with the beat. And they're taking the time to speed out the back cheese. That might cost them.
I don't think they can touch.
Find the touch now. Bendy in position looking for the boop. They beat Drac touches. Drac touches, but the beat had to be so early. They're going to find almost nothing with it. The flux comes out onto Watermelon, but the Immortality Field is there, and the flux for Mark Killer is looking like it might be better. Phantoms take so much damage. The Amplification Matrix comes out, but Mark Killer is eating up all of that damage. Throttle still free firing, but Pixel falls so very low and does eventually get cleaned up by Bippy. Drac goes down, and it is going to be Team 4+1, just barely holding first point on Shambali Monastery. Wow.
I gotta say, I am not. First of all, that last touch, I think they should have swapped off the Mei. They needed a touch where you don't invest the beat. Because they beat just a touch, like they just couldn't survive. But also, Hanzo's just not finding value. We need to see more like damage coming out. We need to find more picks off the hit scan DPS coming from Cool Cats. It's just not happening.
I think honestly,
yeah.
like, you might prefer to see Sandbridge on the Bastion, just mirror it, and then, like, you know, if you play right around the Mei, you can get lots and lots of value, just isolate and really destroy Mark Killer on the tank. But now Cool Cuts, I mean, the Mei is a bit stronger. The Mei, sort of Hanzo setup, I guess, wanting to play slow is a bit stronger on the defense, but their work cut out for them. They have to full hold first point.
Yeah, this is looking very rough. I think they're gonna question. Yep, there's the Sojourn switch. Don't think the Hanzo is doing anyone any favors. I think the Sojourn is just more reliable damage, even though you're still relying on basically those one shots. The primary fire means more damage is coming out consistently. But
yeah, there's sort of like better pressure onto the Bastion, I think, as well.
Yeah, is this gonna be enough to match the damage from the Soldier and the Bastion? The Soldier is pretty uncontested. Throttle is just free firing basically.
Yeah, and it is sort of that problem with like the Hanzo Mei, you're not really able to hold off angles, but at the same time with the Hanzo, you're not able to, find too much damage in the straightforward rush.
Yeah.
So we saw them really struggle to, either to deal with Throttle or to deal with the rest of his team quickly before Throttle can lay down tons of damage. And Drac already falls to this Hyperspheres of Mark Killer. Watermelon does get traded out though. It's not all over for Cool Cats, and it's a fantastic wall from Celestau. It does look like Cool Cats are going to clean it up, but not before Phantoms goes down, and that stagger pick may well wind up costing them.
Sam Rouge is in there. If he dies here, this is bad. They need to go back. I don't think they can hold this. Phantoms is still quite a bit away.
They do find that late pick on a Depretel, though. That might have been what they're looking for. And that does mean that, that 4+1 also are going to have a harder time really committing to an aggressive push. Phantoms now is back on the Sigma.
Sam Rouge needs to leave now.
Yeah, Drottle's taking that flank angle, just so much damage coming out of the Soldier 76. Drac tries to contest, but gets picked off a second time in a row.
Phantoms is pretty much alone on the cart. I don't think he can hold this much longer. He's out in the open. Sam Rouge is on the high ground, but Krubixo dies. That is not what you want.
Celestau now also falls low. I think Team Cool Cats, they need to find a fast reset. They have one more fight left, 2.5 minutes. It's not unwinnable, but
it's pretty close to being unwinnable. Because now we have Mark Killer coming on his Gravitic Flux. We have Jeff Throttle coming up on his window. This could be enough, although it looks like the ult bank for Cool Cats is better, but they're going to have a really rough touch here too.
Mark Killer backing up now. Falls very low. Mortality Field is forced out, and the DPS are split off on the side of Team 4+1.
Oh, that is
Cool
so
Cats
hard.
who are dying.
The ultimates from 4+1 are just so much better. Mark Killer catches like 3 from the Flux, and that is the final map going to 4+1.
And it was a hard-fought battle. Team Cool Cats made them fight for every inch of it. They, nearly took the series on Esperanza there. But at the end of the day, Team 4+1 just an incredible performance, looking really strong, and they are going to take home the title, take home those gaming chairs provided by Monster Energy. That's an incredible series, and an incredible way to cap off what's been just an incredible time at these UofT Overwatch intramural tournaments.
Yeah, what a exhilarating series. So close. So many maps I thought could go either way. Although it did seem like Shambali Monastery 4+1 had that in the bag.
Yeah.
On Cool Cat's map pick, no less. That is not what you want to happen on your map pick.
Yeah, just looking that little bit more where it counted in the end, they looked just that little bit more decisive with their comps, with their plans. Both teams trying to force these sort of styles that work for them. Watermelon, especially on that Bastion, such a defining factor of the series. But in the end, it is going to be Team 4+1 with a well-deserved victory. They fought hard for that one. And yeah, it's a big round of congratulations to them. A big round of congratulations also to Team Cool Cats taking the silver medal. And, a big round of congratulations to everyone who competed in these intramural playoffs. It's been a blast. I've been Chris Computero. Joining me has been Left Fish Taco. And yeah, I'll wish you good night, everyone.